This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. This sports program starts right now.
Football!
Oh, boys.
Gentlemen.
Listen,
Gentlemen.
I don't want to have to do
Jesus.
this because, damn, it's our second day back. And it's not the fault of the man who's first day back.
That's That's on us.
That cannot be how this particular day. This is a holiday in the McAfee house today, so cannot have the show stumbling out of the gates that, especially with the crosshairs on us, boys.
Yeah.
They are looking for anything, any little slip up, any little potential opportunity to say this is the reason. And you guys lead the show like that?
Good Lord.
From the top, Foxy,
Quiet defense.
roll that beautiful intro footage, please. Figure it out.
God damn it.
Boys, what is it?
It's football.
This show fucking
After
stinks.
yesterday.
And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hey, welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this special Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. This sports program starts right now.
Football!
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, here we go.
Hey, you see?
Here we go.
All right, we're off and running.
All right, you see what happened there?
Yep.
Yeah, and we know whose fault it
This is what
was.
training camp is, boys.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to run it
Right.
from the top.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get back in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to say, hey, there was a little miscommunication there. Maybe somebody didn't get the message, but we all need to be on the same page. If we're all wrong, we're all right. But if
Yeah.
one of us is wrong,
We're all wrong.
We're all wrong.
everybody's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So way to bounce back, boys. That's getting better. That's what today's all about, getting better.
Hell
And that's what training camps are doing all around the NFL. And today, we'll be talking to a general manager who's at a training camp for a team that everybody's thinking is going to make a Super Bowl run.
What?
Brandon Beane of the Buffalo Bills will join us
Oh, hell yeah.
in about an hour, in 15 minutes. I cannot wait to chat with him. There's obviously a lot of conversations around the Buffalo Bills that we will certainly be having. I think all good coming out of camp. Haven't
Yeah.
heard much, but I think all good. That's good news. Stephon Diggs smiling in a picture I seen posted on social media.
That's right.
That was a little bit of a discussion there for a bit. He was the only one showing up to camp. Blah. And it's like,
Chimp.
Josh pumped.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Von Miller is back.
Smiling.
Happy. Damar Hamlin, obviously,
What?
super pumped. And then the next photo, dressed incredibly.
Of course.
Super cool outfit, but he seemed to be focused.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I wasn't too happy.
So maybe he was just focused and they caught him at a different time. But I think it's all going to be good because what they do up there is play good football. They've been so close. Everybody thinks they're going to get over the hump every single year for the last 5 years. And then all of a sudden, is this going to be the year that it does? Is this going to be the year where Josh Allen says, yeah, I am the prototype. This is the offense that you all want. I'm not going to have any turnovers this year.
No.
Huh? That'll be huge.
No picks.
I fucking love watching the Buffalo Bills. Can't wait to chat with Brandon Beane. He will be a good conversation. We'll also have Michael Lombardi on joining us.
Hell yeah.
Let's
Lombo's got a lot to cook on, especially in this time of trades, signs,
Right.
cuts, waiving,
Right.
roster management. He's obviously been a general manager and a host, and he's an author, a newsletter writer.
What?
He's been an advisor to Bill Belichick,
That's right.
Bud.
a consultant to Bill Belichick,
What?
three-time Super Bowl champion, and very Italian man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like wildly Italian human being.
Just like us.
Just like me, for sure. Just like
Thank you.
one half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys turn Diggs is here. The toxic table is here. At Ty Schmidt, who looks fantastic with that John Deere cap. We had a John Deere sitting in the parking lot today.
Hell yeah. Looked great.
I don't know if you saw that. Zito brought
I
his
did.
John Deere right on in and drove it to work today. It was a
Yep.
beautiful thing. I think that might have been why you have the hat on.
Absolutely. Just saw it. Just nice little reminders. Like, you know what? I haven't worn my deer hat in a little bit. And it was one of the happiest mornings of my life seeing Zeke parking his beautiful John Deere tractor in his normal parking spot.
Now, Zito, what was the case though? That John Deere didn't have anywhere near the fucking ponies needed to do what the job needed outside.
It was a little lower. It was the S100. They need the S400 up out there.
But yeah, it's a lawnmower. It's not meant to fucking tow anything other than maybe a little skid steer if you want to shoot some Scott's Turf Builder Plus onto your yard or something like that. I mean, that thing's not meant to.
They also told me they're worried about the barricades getting messed up because too much horsepower.
That's at Viva La Zito. That did not happen. But the John Deere was brought here by Zito to work today because we thought there was a chance. They did not approve it, but we thought there was a chance that it could be able to help set up this racetrack that's being built in our parking lot currently. Yeah. So Tony Smoke Stewart.
Yeah.
Three-time NASCAR Cup Series champion will be here pining for NHRA, which is the drag strip racing happening here in Indy in a few weeks or whatever. This guy races anything. So we have a go-kart company, a local one, that we found that's bringing 4 go-karts that go 55 to 60 miles an hour.
What?
Okay, Indiana does not fucking, this is a big racing town here. So like in Pittsburgh, you go do bumper cars or things like that, and you do maybe go-karts, and it's like 15 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, whatever.
Sure.
I came out here to Indiana. These kids are actually professional racing against other kids. So the go-karts are going 45, 50, 60 miles an hour whenever you're going to like a public racing other people.
Right. Out.
And there's full courses and tracks. So these people we got a hold of, Zito got a hold of them, and we're turning the entire parking lot into a track, and we're going to race Tony Smoke Stewart and some go-karts to go 55, 60 miles an hour.
Hell yeah. And
Now,
that's no shoot. I mean, we got a quick glimpse.
Yeah.
A couple of guys setting up tracks. It looked like they were going about 85. So
yeah, they were drifting around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a real race that we're about to. Obviously, we're going to record it and we'll release the video, and we're pumped for it. But anytime somebody comes to our office, we're like, hey, will they do something?
Right.
And normally it's a yes. And Tony Smoke Stewart's coming, will he do something? Yeah. Got to race him. Got to race him.
No choice.
All right, what do we do? Well, Zito's like, we should build a track. Yeah, we absolutely should. Got to find go-karts. We're going to go to the one public company and just say, hey, can we take 5 of these things out of here? And then we got like our own private go-kart builder. I assume this guy's kids all race or have raced. These things are the real deal. So that should be awesome. Now, what I do know is I'm 255 pounds. I don't know how much. I don't know how much Smoke weighs.
Smoke might be there.
Whoa,
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
He's
I'm gonna tell him
5'9".
you said that. He is 5'9".
What the hell?
That's obviously at Boston Connor, and
was
at
a compliment.
Boston
That was a
Connor's mullet
compliment,
looks
by the way.
amazing. He's not 250. He's probably like 220. He is 5'9". He's a stockier guy.
Yeah,
obviously
built.
ready for whatever he needs.
Right.
But he's not going to be the only one racing. There's going to be another person racing. It's the first time we've seen him in weeks. His energy has been missed in my life, in our life. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us again for what seems to be the first time in a long time, Adam Pac-Man Jays. But Pac's going to be racing. This dude ran a 4.51 the other day. You know, he's 170 pounds right now. How much you weigh?
I'm about 180.
Okay, 180 pounds.
Yeah.
I got 75 pounds on him.
Yeah.
Okay, so these go-karts, you're going to have to, so I'm tuning them on up.
Yeah, amp it up. Get some nos in there.
Yeah, handicapping. You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
is like kind of
you
doing
get
what you have to do.
strokes.
Because I have faith he's going to do well in this. I've seen him in our little miniature carts out here.
Right.
And drive. He's a good driver. I think you're going to do. We have to not get embarrassed by Smoke here.
Yeah.
He's going to, though.
Oh, yeah.
For
He's
sure.
going to fucking.
We got to be
Smoke
careful.
us.
though.
Exactly.
We got to be careful because I seen this little fucker right here driving earlier. And he was flying.
Yeah, there was a kid out
And I was a little nervous that he didn't have a helmet on.
Yeah, well, they actually told us that he was in a race last night in New Jersey and he flipped his car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then
Pro's
good thing
pro.
he's in our parking lot today trying to do the same
But
thing.
we must
Yep.
win, though. We'll win.
I don't think we're going to win because, like,
One
these
of us.
drivers, like, the apex of the turn, and they know how to, like, do they know how to do things.
Right. Yeah.
Like, they are much smarter than we are. And I, once again, only learned that when I went to that. I think Nick was even with me one of the times I went to this thing. Go-karts out here much different than in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
yeah, it's no joke. It's no, you could get seriously hurt.
And there's 9-year-olds sitting in these same carts as you that are going 55, 60 miles an hour. And they're just such better and smarter drivers than you. They are just...
They make it look so easy because they are so good. Then you ran your ass into a wall, you get whiplash, maybe break your collarbone, something like that.
Yeah, and you're showing up maybe a little tuned up too.
Sure.
Obviously.
Somebody
Might
else
as
is
well.
driving, obviously, and it's
Yep.
like, hey, you go do some go-karts. These are fun. You go do that. These kids are studying the track. So they know when to turn, when not to turn. Like, they have done their research, and then they just embarrass you. Smoke will do that to us, but we can't be getting lapped in a 5-lap race in a parking lot.
Definitely
You
not.
know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, Pac. I can't happen.
I agree, but we know our course, I hope. No,
see, that's the problem.
It builds this morning.
Yeah, we just built it, and Smoke's going to have eyes on this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to be, this is just like fucking Sonoma.
Yeah.
This is just like Sonoma right here. And like he probably knows this. I would assume that he will know the go-kart that he's never been in 4,000 times better than we will.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? These people, they get their kids they're racing real young.
Yeah.
And commit their entire lives to it. It is bananas. I think F1 was like the dream of a lot of these kids.
Oh.
And then now, like, NASCAR ended up being in that place where it was like, here's where all the money is.
Yeah.
Because Smoke from Indiana was in IndyCar, was an IndyCar Series champion.
Yeah, 97.
And then he went over to NASCAR. I think it's because that's where the money was at. So I think the racing game is such an interesting.
So this would be like us going playing Little League football, going playing some football with
you playing. Yeah, this would be like me.
you kicking a punt to.
Yes, it would be. God, could you imagine the compression of the soul that would come down on an 8-year-old kid? That's what he's going to be doing to us. Yeah. Yep, that's what he's going to be doing. Anyways, shout out to Smoke. We'll be doing that later. Shout out to Zito for kind of piecing that together with old buddy that brought a truck and 4 people that are certainly whizzing around our parking lot at this exact moment, 55, 60 miles an hour. Hope they have insurance. Probably don't. That'll be the next cancellation. But speaking of cancellations, I have an announcement to make.
Ooh.
Okay.
Something has not been canceled. And that's my wife and I's marriage.
Nice.
Huh?
Let's go.
3 years today.
Wow.
Happy anniversary.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Happy anniversary.
I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah.
Grew up never wanting to get married, never want to have kids. Was planning on being alone, miserable man, but wealthy. Was always planning on that whole thing. I always said, would like to be set for the rest of my life before I have a kid, because I don't want my kid to have any worries about anything ever. So I always said that. So I always just assumed that would be a thing that would just, push it. Well, I made a deal with myself. Sorry about it, and then every single relationship I got into, incredible humans through my entire life. I've been very, very lucky to be surrounded. It was always like, I don't know. I've always been like kind of a gypsy. I was
Sure.
I think people see that now. Like I'm
Nomad.
So then whenever I meet Samantha and I start to realize that it feels like this is potentially a different situation, it was really an eye-opening, enlightening thing. And whenever the decision was made, in her eyes, finally, right?
Sure.
There was a lot of that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of trips we were going on for a long time where I guess she was expecting
Yeah.
it to happen. And there was one particular time where I might have fed that a little bit.
Okay, sure.
Drop down, tie your shoe.
No. Bring out like 3 dozen roses.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I never went to the knee because that's fucked up, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that is. But having the most romantic dinner in the history of probably that particular hotel, kind of, in my eyes, hilarious.
Well, that was good, wasn't it?
Well, delicious. What a hero I am.
I got to tell
the
you
candles,
something.
the view,
Yeah.
the food, and then obviously she has to act as if she's thankful and happy there.
Right.
But she certainly thought that we were getting engaged at that exact moment. And then she still tells that story to this day where she thought about breaking up with me, I think, the next day because that whole thing. And if she would have done that after the most romantic dinner of all time, I would have loved to hear what I would have had to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After that entire thing. But when the time was right for us to get engaged in Hawaii, and then we get married, and then we start doing marriage, it was like, I have no idea how I ever thought I was going to be able to live without this. I have no idea. I feel like I become a much better human because Samantha is in my life. She has opened my eyes to a lot of things. She's a much different person than I am, with different backgrounds and different interests, obviously. Right. And she loves football, Colts football. So that's good. That's a good thing. But then I realize how much we have in common because we have this appreciation for each other. And I think that is what a true marriage is. I think that is what a great relationship is. And we're 3 years into this, and I'm very, very grateful. And happy anniversary, Sam. Watching you be a mom over the last 3 months of this past year has been awesome. And what you spent the last year doing so that we could be parents has been remarkable. So thank you. Happy anniversary. Here's to forever, babe.
Yeah.
Here's to forever, babe. Woo, woo. Marriage ain't easy, though, man.
No.
It is not.
It's part of it, though.
Yeah, and I couldn't even imagine dealing with fucking me. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't even. It's hard for me to take anything serious. So, like, whenever there's something going on, it's like, is this that big of a deal? Okay. Are we dying? Like, that's how I view everything almost. So, like, for somebody who has, like, feelings and, like, real, like, thoughts and stuff.
Yeah, emotions.
Dude, I couldn't even imagine her brain whenever some of the things have happened. And I'm like, meh, who cares? And then, like, this just moves. So I appreciate your patience with me. I appreciate you making me a better human. And I appreciate that we're still married 3 years into this thing.
Hey, there you go.
Here's to you, Sam. Hell yeah. Woo. She's going to be in one of these go-karts today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's going to come up here and hop on one of these. She's a psychopath when she's driving.
Against smoke?
I honestly, like, yeah. I mean, we might as well. I mean, so her dad, big IndyCar fan. So she's been going to IndyCar races like her whole life. So she thinks by osmosis from watching it, she gets it.
She knows, yeah.
Like my first couple times in the car with her. Now that she has Mackenzie, she drives
a little different.
Much different.
Yeah.
And I don't know how she's driving alone. You know what I mean? I don't know how it is. I don't know what it's like when she's alone. But she's psychopath behind the wheel. She thinks that she fucking, because she watched so many races, she has actually driven those races. So I think today she's going to put on a show.
Here we go.
I think she could, because she's smaller too. So like all these drivers are like jockeys, horse jockeys. They're like kind of smaller, you know? Yeah. Newgarden won the Indy 500. He's tall, but he's like super light. Yeah. Thin. Like you got to be, weight matters, size matters. And I think she could have been a good, we'll find out today. I mean, we'll find out today. Happy anniversary, Sam.
We're going to find out.
Right? Didn't we see that? We built, this is for Sam, and then.
Hell yeah.
And then smoke.
Happy anniversary.
Hey,
look at us.
Hey,
wow.
happy anniversary.
What are you guys?
Get a couple of hot laps in. Yeah. Spend the day out there.
Yeah, that's romantic.
Enjoy it.
All right, let's talk about some sports now that we got Pac-Man here. Pac-Man, you and Ryan Clark during the break. I've seen this because hope you had an incredible break, by the way.
Yeah, I did.
We missed
an
you.
unbelievable break.
We missed you. Where'd you go?
Missed you too. Took the boys out to Lake Norman, and we stayed up there for about 8 days.
The boys means the whole house.
The whole crew. 17 deep. 17 deep.
That's fun. An easy thing to prepare for.
That's a crew.
A 17-person trip.
Yep.
I think that's easy.
Probably easy to find lodging for that as well.
Very affordable. Very, very affordable. Easy to do. I understand that. So thank you for your effort for all of that and changing people's lives. Speaking of changing people's lives, how about Junior?
Yeah.
Ohio State.
Let's go.
Chris Henry Jr. commits to Ohio State during our break. He's the 6'6", 200.
95 pound.
195?
195.
6'6", 195, running a 4.4 sophomore year. Wide receiver from what high school?
Withrow High School.
Withrow High School in Ohio. Yeah. Going to Ohio State this weekend. Obviously, Chris Henry is his father. Chris Henry passed away. Adam Pac-Man Jones stepped in as a pseudo-father. I think you and his relationship is beautiful. You and everybody in your house's relationship is beautiful. There's 10 D1 athletes in this house.
It's unreal.
10 D1 athletes. That's a lot of commitment by a lot of people, yourself included. How happy are you for Junior he's getting to experience this right now?
Oh, man. Unbelievable experience for him. Words cannot express how happy I am for him. But the main thing I'm so proud of him about is through all this experience and all this stuff that's going on, he's been the most humblest kid. Like, he haven't changed a bit.
Slim was like that too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's still taking out the trash. You know what I mean? He's still doing the little things. And I think that goes a long way. More than the football stuff, because the football stuff, he's a freak of nature at.
So obviously Slim has not been able to be with him through these years in this entire thing. We all know the very unfortunate accident that took place. He was your best friend. Yeah. So you stepping up, incredibly cool. Do you see a lot of...
spitting image.
Isn't it crazy too?
It's
because he doesn't really know. Like, you know, it's just like kind of like he didn't really get to... No, he's seen highlights.
Yeah, he ain't really... He know, but he don't know. I should put it like that. But like for anybody that met Slim, if you see Chris... It is like that's him.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
They look, everything is identical. Even the way they run, they talk, body language. His attitude is a lot more better than Slim. I would say. But as far as competing and being competitive on the field and outside of the field with his schoolwork and all that, he's doing an unbelievable job. All of them, man. Saini already signed her scholarship. She's going to Ohio State, which is his oldest sister. So it's good, man. They work hard too.
Hell yeah. Congrats to the whole house.
Awesome.
Lucky to get a chance to chat with him every once in a while, FaceTime with Pac, and then just kind of show the camera around. It's like, that's probably going to be sprinter for whatever national champion team.
Everyone's working out.
Who's that? That'll be the number one wide. Yeah, that's the next Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep.
Yeah, just happens to be Chris Henry Jr. Yeah, he's just saying it over there. Just did a windmill dunk in Uggs.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Unreal.
Hey, it's going to be a great story someday about all of it. It already is a great story. Shout out to you. Great to see you back. Let's start diving into some stuff. Demar Hamlin, Yinzer, dog, friend of ours. I believe if anybody met him, he would hopefully take to this entire group because he seems to be a human that obviously is inspiring and motivating. A man who presented an award to the Buffalo Bills training staff for saving his life on TV at the ESPYs, and it was a magical moment. But also, I think he understands very much the situation he is in.
Yeah.
I think he is very humble about the entire situation that he is in. I think his self-awareness is impeccable. And how he's choosing to kind of treat everything that has happened to him has been nothing short of admirable. Here's him talking to the press after his first day back in pads, where he's been fully cleared to play football again somehow, after we saw what happened on Monday Night Football less than a year ago.
Honestly would love to do this whole process under a rock, get myself together, and then pop back out when I feel like my best. You know what I mean? But I think there's strength in going through a process in front of everybody's eyes. It shows vulnerability, it shows strength, it shows perseverance, and that's things I would love to stand for.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. I like the way he's answered it. He could be really shy, but I remember there was a time whenever he came back that none of us thought he was going to be able to come back, but when he came back, he was away from the cameras, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he was up in the snowstorm up in the
That's right. Couldn't really see him.
And then there was conspiracy theories
Tattoos.
on the internet and crazy stuff taking place. He had to kind of sit back there and listen to all that while also trying to get his body back to being full and capable and hopefully playing football again. Now he's at that point. Seems like just the perfect reaction to the whole situation. We'll talk to Bean about it, obviously, in about an hour. But Pac-Man, love seeing this out of Demar, man.
Man, love seeing it. I remember when he first started going back in public, I had the chance to talk to him. I had him meet me in Vegas, and he didn't want to be around nobody. He didn't want to talk to nobody. I'm like, yo, bro, you got to use this time and this platform to motivate other people that maybe been through this or had somebody go through it. And it's just good to see him in a place like that right now. The football stuff gonna come. He's a good football player. It take time to get back into the group.
I didn't hear much about his football. What are they saying about him on the field? Are they saying?
I mean, he was solid. He's also playing with Tre'Davious White and Poyer and Micah Hyde. So it's a great.
I saw him at
situation.
ESPYs. I said, "How you feel?" He said, "Everything's coming. Everything's coming." That's bananas.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah.
I almost spent more time at the ESPYs talking about it. What I said, Skip Bayless said on his tweet were jokes. Obviously, he did kind of.
He did tweet.
It wasn't the way I said, but obviously, it's jokes in that entire thing. And shout out to Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Tom Segura was the only human that I got a chance to kind of run through what I was going to talk about with. And there were some things that Tom Segura wanted me to
stay away from.
I had to.
There were some things that Tom wanted me to really. Didn't this happen in the last year in sports? I don't think I could say this, but I'm not a sports guy. But you could. There was a potential trade that he wanted to bring up, two that happened. There was some other stuff.
Rodgers.
But he helped me out, I ran through it, and then he would be like, oh, it didn't boom. And then it was awesome. I mean, getting a chance to do that with one of the greatest comedic brains of all time is obviously very stupid and lucky, and I'm very thankful he did that. And I also asked him if I'm allowed to give him credit, because I don't want him to get – so, no, I couldn't really talk to him because the So the writers,
exactly,
right? So Tom was really the only person that I could talk to. I said, "Can I give you credit for that?" He goes, "Yeah, bud, it was all you, but yes," or something like super humble. But that's not the case, obviously. And I go, "Aren't you scared? There's going to be people that are going to be pissed off at you?" He goes, "Fuck them. What are you?"
Yep.
Right. We wrote our own stuff. Basically, how he viewed it was we wrote our own stuff. If they need, there's people calling me a scab.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
People call me a scab. I'm a professional writer or a professional actor or something like that. What are we talking about? I work for ESPN. It's their award show.
What?
Yes.
I talk into microphones for them.
What?
Yep. Okay, I got a 10-minute time talking to a microphone for ESPN. That's what I'm still going to start doing it.
Kind of a natural introduction.
Sure.
This is kind of, people calling me a scab and all this stuff. I'm like, whoa, take it easy. So shout out to Tom Segura, by the way, and his new special on Netflix is 1,000% worth watching.
So good.
So it is fantastic. But what we said there about Skip, kind of real, but that was what happened, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He was fucking dead in front of all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole world. So in the ratings, I don't know what they were, and obviously we're, as humans, a terrible group of people.
Yes.
An absolutely terrible.
The worst.
Movie. We see that now with what they're funneling into our algorithms with the worst accidents and worst everything happening.
Fights.
Oh, I want to see a train crash. I want to see this. I want to see bad stuff happen. I'd assume the ratings were only going through the roof.
Yeah.
So what a standard Monday Night Football in the NFL, which remembers the NFL ratings are the only ones going up, everybody else is going down, so a lot of people, but that's only growing. And then the news the next day, NBC morning show, CBS morning show, everybody on earth saw the footage of this guy dead. And now he's back in pads, ready to do it. Like, shout out to everybody. His will to live, obviously in there.
Yeah.
Yinzer too. Not saying that it is because he is a Yinzer. But
doesn't hurt.
He is the Yinzer. So fuck yeah, will to live. The reaction by Denny Erickson, or Kellington. Denny Kellington, the trainer to execute in there. The EMTs, the fucking doctors. And now the post story is going to be even more inspiring than we could have imagined whenever we were all taking part through this whole ride of Demar Hamlin. It's really, and it sucks because there was a time where he was not alive.
Right.
And we didn't know if he was dead. But this is like one of the most
touching,
like beautiful things of I said all time, and people are coming saying that this is one of the most inspiring things in human history or whatever. It's like, bro, you know how many people had to come together to save this guy's life?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how many people were watching it with the spotlight on and having to do it? Like, bro, this is fucking unbelievable. And I'm incredibly proud for Demar.
You guys talk about it all the time too, like how hard it is to come back just from like a knee injury and trust your knee again. Like, imagine how hard it is to come back and just go on the field and put pads on with potentially that in the back of your head, like of what just happened to you the last time on your field. Like, you were on the field.
Yeah,
like,
football as a whole.
Yeah,
that's
going to make a
insane.
tackle.
Because that was a basic.
Going into make
basic.
Run of the mill.
Yes.
Who were they trying to? They were at one point. There was there was one person that had a microphone. Who was the guy that
T.
caught?
Higgins.
Yeah.
Was it T.
Yeah,
Higgins?
T. Higgins, yeah.
Remember
They were
that
trying to
happened?
blame-
That
I seen
happened
that.
for like a
Quick second.
It was almost the comment probably 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the internet for like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, good
and then
time.
everybody was like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment for the internet. I think whenever they tried to talk about that, because that was literally the most basic play of an NFL football game. And I think it opened a lot of other people's eyes too, obviously.
Yeah, it's definitely the community to let us know, like, how I think how good Cincinnati, the doctors at UC, where he went to after they got him back going, everybody worked together, even the team. Like, no way we can go back out and play that game.
Yeah.
That. You know what I mean? And some of the fans were like, oh, we got to play the game. The same guy who goes on and talking about we need to go on with the game. Bro, we are way more important than the game. We know the game is going to go on time and time after us.
Yeah,
but
humans
come
matter,
on,
bro. Humans matter. But I think, like, to your point on all of that, like, there had to be some players definitely on that field, but certainly around the NFL, that didn't know that was possible.
Yeah,
sure.
You know, like what they say, like that was what I didn't know that was possible. On like something like that. I heard of this. We had Mr. Jack as a gym teacher in elementary school.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, Holiday Park Elementary School. They shut that fucking thing down. It's actually for sale right now. I'm thinking about buying it.
Ooh, that'd be sweet.
Thinking about buying it just strictly because of what happened to me at that elementary
Good
school.
riddance.
The hell I raised.
Your fucking school wasn't there either, and that school was the worst.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
Cigarette man.
Mr. Jack, anyways, was a gym teacher.
You flip that into some luxury apartments?
I'm not turning our elementary school.
That's not a
okay,
bad
I'd be
idea.
buying back the block to keep it. You know, what's good as opposed to doing what you're doing. Mr. Jack, though, had a kid who, I think he wanted to play junior B hockey or something like that in high school up in Michigan. And Mr. Jack missed like a week or two of school. And I think I was like sixth grade. I asked him, or he said, sorry, I missed it. And he gave, I guess, a super detailed, that happens in hockey, I guess.
Yes.
Like slap shot hits somebody at the exact moment of something, and then bang, their heart stops, and they're like, like it's over right there. It's like a 1 in whatever chances are. If the timing, though, with an impactful force at the right time, at the right spot, it can happen. Happened to, like, I think Mr. Jack's kids' team whenever I was in elementary school, and I don't remember a lot from then, but that one I remember like, oh, fuck, somebody can die. You just hit him in the chest. That tackle wasn't like that.
No.
Wasn't a big hit.
It wasn't like a
Wasn't.
puck, like
No.
a tiny little puck. It wasn't a tiny little like lacrosse ball. It wasn't something that's like jabbing or like break. It was just a standard tackle. I'm like, I did not know that was possible. And I assume other guys around the NFL were like, so when I sign up to play, this could potentially happen, I guess, now.
Yeah.
That has to be a little mental fuckery for some people.
Well, and that's why like him coming back, I feel like is such a big deal because not only like the guys on his team are like, okay, like this can happen, and we have, first of all, Denny, like you mentioned, the staff that can control.
Legends, by the way.
Yes.
It has to be talked about. Like
Yes.
a lot of people are trained to do stuff.
Yeah.
But then whenever, lights come on.
Yeah, in the moment.
Can you?
Yeah.
Can you execute what you were told whenever this person actually dead?
Yeah, with people around watching.
That's a
both
lot different
teams.
than at the airport.
100,000 people watching.
Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive. That's what I'm certified.
Yeah.
At the airport.
Me too.
That's
Fake
tough.
body on
Yeah.
the side telling me to do it. But if it actually push came to shove, am I pulling that off with the whole world? That is. So we learned that about those. And so, like, they should be congratulated because not everybody's going to do that. It is just, but I think what you're going to get to is the future of football, too. Like, kids, parents that saw that happen potentially.
Yeah.
Football obviously had that stigma heavy there about, like, if you respect your brain at all, you would not play tackle football.
Yeah.
Dr. Will Smith made a movie, and then everybody thought
Or the war on football.
Yes, that's what it was titled. War on Football, trying to take out football, the future of football. Now, I argued that, like, you think Tim and Sally would give a fuck? Right? Like, there's neighborhoods around the country that are creating NFL football players.
Yes.
That you could show them all these war on football stats. Motherfuckers still playing football.
That's right.
So, like, I didn't think the NFL was ever in jeopardy. Like, I didn't ever think, like, yeah, the guys that I hang out with and know from the NFL, if Dr. Will Smith and these other stats would have told their school or their family, they're still playing football. Like, kids of NFL players are all still playing football.
Yeah.
So I never thought the NFL was in jeopardy, but I did think the popularity of the sport was definitely in jeopardy.
Sure.
Because it was something that, like, they're making a lot of vital points. It's like, yeah, I guess you are signing up for this. You think about this with boxing, because we all saw it with Muhammad Ali and many others. Like, yeah, that's what you sign up for with boxing. I don't think people viewed football the same way. It was like, you get to play in the NFL. You get to play in the NFL. So I think there was a lot of exposure to potential happenings of, bodies breaking down, brains breaking down after repeated beatings that happen in a football game. So this type of stuff showing up and adding more excuses for parents to keep their families and kids away from football, I don't think is good because people will potentially do that. But Demar's back on the field. It's like, this is a fucking beautiful thing. And we should celebrate it every chance we get. And shout out to Demar, man. Hey.
Yeah.
Way to go, Demar.
So cool.
Go, dude.
Keep going.
Way to go, Demar. I'm excited to see how he plays.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Is like it wasn't hyperbole. You saying him like they were doing chest compressions for like 15 minutes, and like we've all watched a lot of football and like sports in general. Like like every once in a while, maybe a guy like breaks his neck or has like a spinal thing, but like he's always getting taken off, and most of the time they're giving the thumbs up. With this, it was like you see the guys crying on the field. It's like, no, he's dead. And then even the next day, we had his buddy on the show,
Jordan,
and it's the same.
He's still with him, by the way.
Yeah.
Jordan took it on the shins.
Big time. Yeah, this guy's
Heavy.
just trying to grab fame or do whatever, get his own business up and running. But like he was still in a coma for like multiple days. Like we did the show like the following week, and we were all saying like, you almost don't even want to talk about anything. It's like we don't know if this guy's gonna survive. Like legitimately, do not know if he's gonna survive.
I remember us saying that we have to remember what it was actually like in the moment, because I think we were all talking about the game makeup and everything like that, and how this has never been done before in the NFL, and even during COVID years, whenever there's things like this is an anomaly of a situation with what they're going to do. And I think what I remember us saying, I'm not 100% sure, but I think we said like, hey, we have to remember that this is nothing like anything else we've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Like people are going to forget what we felt in the moment, and the day after. And I think that is probably already started happening for some people because they see Demar all the way back. But at one point, numerous points during that week, there was zero hope that this dude was alive.
Yeah.
Because we all started Googling stuff. Like, I'm not a fucking doctor. I started Googling, how much time can you not have air go to your brain?
That was the big thing.
Yeah, everybody,
that was the main
how
thing.
is this guy?
I thought he was brain
He's not
dead.
alive right now. He's been in this coma for how long? It was nervous. It was scary.
Well, I agree. And like, I don't think it's going to be hard to explain, I think, because he's seemingly going to come back and play fucking great football.
Right.
Yeah.
And be all the way back. And they'll be like, hey, remember what Damar Hamlin went through? And it's like, I feel like we should remember, like, hey, dude was dead.
Yes.
Like, everybody thought this guy was dead.
Yeah.
And now he's all the way back. That can't be forgotten how crazy of a situation and of a scene that was. I don't think I'll ever forget at home watching that game
Monday
as
night.
it's unfolding, just going through it. And my wife, who watches football with me, obviously, because I don't think she loves watching every game, but that particular game, huge game. Very vested.
That was a big
Very, very vested. Gambling on it, betting on it, I mean, the whole thing. And normally she'll like pass out, right? She's more of a morning person, fall asleep early. That one, like nobody could sleep. Remember, none of us could sleep after that entire game.
And that's what was scary too, is like Joe and Troy didn't really know what to do, or they were getting conflicting reports and didn't really have any of the information. So it's like you're expecting these guys calling the game, like, well, they know someone there. Someone knows something, and they're going to be able to kind of clue the public in on what's going on. But, like, they had no idea. It was just like, say a prayer and hope for the best. Like, that's really all we can tell you.
Hey, I thought Joe did a good job there. I don't remember exactly what he was saying or how he did it, but that is not.
Oh, yeah.
That is.
They went and came back from commercial a couple times. And then they went back to the studio because I believe it was Shefty.
Hey, that's where a guy like Joe Buck is your guy. Being your guy is. You know, that's why you.
Game changer.
That's why he's getting paid the big bucks.
That's why, been there, done that with literally every experience. That's not something he's ever experienced before.
No.
But at least you got a guy who's, and we talk about Denny. I mean, Joe can spill shit into that situation.
Right.
That doesn't have to happen either. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Everything he's saying has to be like has to watch it because what we're all watching is our biggest nightmare. Yeah. And he didn't sign up to call people's nightmares.
No.
Like that is, you know what I mean? Like it was kind of through that ESPYs experience, watching back and kind of reliving it, and then now seeing him jog out of the tunnel, sign autographs, and do his press conference and practice. It's like, what a miraculous story, what a miraculous being. And I can't wait to chat with Bean here in about 40 minutes to see how it's all taking place behind the scenes. I assume he has an incredibly different view on life.
Yes.
Not that Demar Hamlin wasn't a grateful human being before. From all accounts, everybody fucking loved this dude. Everywhere he's ever been. Everybody loves him. But going through something like that, man, it changed me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It changed me completely. And I'm happy he seems to be the right guy to be the one that is like kind of sharing the story and inspiration for years and decades to come.
Yeah, and to that point with the inspiration, like how big is this for the Buffalo Bills too? Like obviously it's just incredible on its own, but like as a team to see your guy come back, how big is that?
Think about the Buffalo Bills year last year. Off the field.
So many things.
Ridiculous.
Oh. That's got to be, they can't make excuses, obviously.
No.
Yeah. But they had a lot. That's a lot, though.
That's
you
a
get
lot.
Vaughn getting hurt, then you have that happen going into the playoffs.
Shooting before the season even started.
Yeah, at the
Dawson
grocery store.
Knox,
Right?
Game in
brother.
Detroit, they had to leave because of the snow.
Yeah.
Dawson Knox's brother, passed away before the season started.
I mean, it was just like,
Boom, boom.
they had to think to themselves, like, what the hell we got
And
going?
they were still in position to be the number one seed. Like
Sure
it's
was.
absurd that they were even doing that.
Hey,
well.
good football team.
Yeah, they are.
Good football team up there. Strong football team up there. Can't wait to talk to Bean. Bryce Young, is being talked about because he's been announced the starter for the Carolina Panthers. Now, everybody knew the number one overall pick's probably going to be the starter for a team that traded all the way up to number one to get a quarterback.
What?
But there is Andy Dalton on the roster who has started games before and could be a very easy situation to put the veteran in for like 3-4 games. Hey, here's kind of how this whole thing goes. Kind of ease your way into it as the number one overall guy. Everybody knows you're the guy. Andy Dalton's not the franchise guy. Everybody in this stadium, in his locker room, in the coaching staff knows that you're the guy. They announce him as a starter. They say everything he's doing is remarkable.
Yeah.
And I guess coming into the league, I talked to Chris Ballard because I asked him about the quarterback situation because we knew that the Colts were drafting the quarterback at 4. Were they going to trade up? Were they going to move? What was it going to be? He said that he knew Bryce Young was going. Everybody knew his brain was just special. That's what his brain is special. In every other draft kind of going into it, you're always trying to figure out the person's brain. Is this person going to be able to handle money, pressure, NFL offenses, NFL defenses, NFL locker rooms, and also the fame and the talking that is going to come alongside all of it.
Sure.
It is not necessarily a home run with every fucker that can throw a football becoming an NFL quarterback. So whenever they talk about Bryce Young's brain coming in, that was what separated him from everybody. Remember Lombardi, Michael Lombardi, who'll be joining us today, who has been around the NFL for like 50 fucking years. He said that he was not in on Bryce. He's too small. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Bingo.
Was he Alabama? He's too small.
Is he over the line?
That's literally what he said. And then he said he started watching film. wait a minute, this little motherfucker's really,
Yeah.
he's seemingly figuring this whole thing out. Michael Lombardi makes a couple calls to a couple teams that have maybe talked to Bryce Young, maybe talked to Nick Saban, and he's like, the guy's a fucking brainiac, knows football inside and out, highest football IQ we've ever been around in our entire life. And he starts watching films like, the film's kind of saying that. I mean, seriously, the film is kind of saying what you guys are saying. Oh, so this dude's like different. They're like,
the dude.
yeah. He's small though, yeah. Who gives a fuck? The guy is... Drew Brees had success, right?
Right.
Has there been one before? Yeah, this guy will be another one. It's kind of what everybody starts saying. Chris Ballard kind of echoed that sentiment when I was talking to him. He said Bryce wasn't going to be available, so didn't even have to talk about it. He was clearly, with his brain and acumen and everything he had going on, he was going to be the number one guy. Coming out of camp, it sounds like this guy is the fucking guy.
Yes. Listen
Listen to what a teammate of his said about Bryce Young, rookie in the NFL, with the Carolina Panthers in the offense as a whole.
The guy's got a lot of leadership, a lot of talent. A very intelligent man. I mean, he came in, he learned the offense. I mean, he was giving presentations the other day for protection. So that says a lot about a rookie. I mean, I know I wasn't doing that as a rookie, and I was still struggling with the playbook, and he just came in and mastered it and just continued to put it out on the field and show that.
Bradley Bozeman said, goddamn, the guy's giving us presentations. He's a rookie. He just got in the building. Has never played NFL football before, which is different than SEC football. SEC football, great football. Let's not get crazy.
Right.
NFL football, though, you got a lot of time. You got defense coordinators making millions and millions of dollars with a lot of time and a lot of guys studying film and a lot of time, and he's just figuring it out. What a weapon. You think they're going to be great this year? Good this year?
I don't know how good they're going to be, but from what I done seen, all right, Andy is a good quarterback, but Andy, if he's smart, like everybody else saying, there's no reason to start Andy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because he can make all of the plays. He can make all of the throws. He can use his feet. Can he pick up the defense? Can he see the heights? It was our question. Is he big enough? That was the main question.
The big thing is really the big thing.
Yeah.
You know, like his because it's all fun. It sounds great.
He's the number one pick overall, though. He's got to play.
He's going to have to play. Of
Right
course
now.
he's going to have to play. But do you think they're going to end up being good with him playing? Because remember, they won games.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, different coach,
Finish
different
strong.
coaching staff,
Right.
different operation. They somehow get rid of their best player, Christian McCaffrey. They get rid of, at the time, Robbie,
Yep.
That's right.
now chosen,
Yep.
Anderson. They get rid of him. So you're like thinking this team's trying to dump it. And then it's like, nah, still pretty good football team.
Yeah.
Got it.
Fans, very good fan base. Now, if they have something to go root for, cheer for, and the future looks bright, good for the fucking band.
That division,
Like
ain't
if
that hard either.
he's obviously got the brain. He's got my favorite thing though to watch him is like when it's not there and when the play breaks down. It feels like his sense in the pocket is unbelievable. Like, and I think that helps him with his size because he rarely ever gets hit hard because it feels like he knows exactly where everyone's coming from all the time and is able to avoid and make plays. And that's my favorite part about his game that I've seen.
So we put this out on the Instagram, obviously watching him go deep. They're like, that ball's underthrown. It's like, look where the corner is.
Yeah.
Not really.
Look where the corner is, and look what would have been catchable anywhere else.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
Nobody else can catch that ball.
Yeah, that is the receiver's ball. Yeah, like
Sideline.
I was reading those comments, and there was some other commenters that were telling these people, like, you are just displaying right now that you have no fucking idea what you're talking about with your comment. No, underthrown, too small. It's like, nope. Actually, complete opposite. That ball was a dot. That is a perfect ball for the game.
And it was kind of coming in like what those old Russ Wilson.
Yeah,
Like
turning
it was
over.
almost like that mortar throw that he had. And then you think about what the organization did for him. They got him Adam Thielen. That's a veteran wide receiver. Miles Sanders.
Yep.
He's coming off his best year, and that was with Philly, but still very, very good. Hayden Hurst.
Josh McCown,
Yes.
Andy Dalton, Frank Reich are around him.
Yeah.
Okay? Every day, all day. Josh McCown, quarterback coach. Andy Dalton, backup quarterback. Fucking might as well be / quarterback coach. And then Frank Reich, head coach, offense coordinator / quarterback coach.
Right.
So they got like 3 quarterback coaches that have how many years?
So many.
And a lot of faith. A lot of
do.
faith in that group.
I
Which
hope
is
he
big.
shows up on Saturday night.
Oh, for the team dinner prayer?
Chapel.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You made up that lie that
Yeah.
started getting talked about in local media.
Jelani Woods wasn't playing anymore because he didn't.
I got bad news out of Colts camp. Bad news out of Colts camp.
What?
Shit.
It's not about Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, okay.
It's about a guy that scores touchdowns every time he's on the field. Jelani Woods, 6'7", tight end of the Indianapolis Colts, pulled his hamstring.
Come on.
But if you fucking seen him, that's a big hamstring. It's
Yeah.
a long
Long.
hamstring.
Yep.
That's a long hamstring. It's big.
7 days.
He's back. I don't know why we didn't play him.
Inside info on that.
Why did we not play him? I asked people whenever I was at training camp, I'm like, where's Jelani Woods?
There's got to be something we ain't seen.
That's what I said. I said, why aren't we playing this guy? Why are we 3 different regimes didn't in
Yeah.
1 year?
Yeah, kept him.
Three different regimes in 1 year. Parks Frazier, Frank. Who else was calling plays? Is there anybody else?
Did Saturday have a?
Maybe I don't know. Whatever. Different regimes. Same shit. We go to the red zone. We got a 6'7" guy. You don't. We got a 6'7" guy who can catch the ball every time he's on the field. You don't have anything that can stop that. I was eye to eye with that guy standing on a 4-foot lift in my fucking suite after he got a game winner against who? The Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a sudden our team is cruising to number 4 overall pick. Obviously playing the most boring football of all time. And we get in the red zone and I just see this big fuck 6'7" jogging off the field. I'm like, what are we doing? We got Underwood. We got Mo Alley Cox. And we got Jelani Woods at tight end.
Man.
That's like 6'6", 6'7", like 6'5", or something like that. If we can't figure out, if Shane Steichen, here we go, Shane. If you can't figure out how to get those big fucks touchdowns in the red zone, I got no faith in you.
I mean,
For the rest of your Colts coaching career, I got no faith in you. I think that's why I'm so optimistic about this Colts team. Because it felt like if there wasn't just abysmal displays of ineptitude.
Yes.
Seemingly.
Yep.
On the field, we had a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, last year
We're gonna beat the Bengals.
I mean,
we're gonna beat the Steelers.
What?
I mean,
we're gonna beat the Bills.
that hasn't
What?
happened in like 15 years.
We beat the Chiefs last year.
Yeah,
okay.
that's right.
Everybody needs to look out when Jelani Woods gets his hamstring healthy. What, 7 days? Colts odds probably. You should probably bet on the Colts now.
Yep.
Okay, when Jelani Woods gets back, look how fucking big he is. You cannot stop him.
Yeah, just throw
What
it
did that do? I don't know. Won the game. Won the game against Kansas City. Are they good? I don't know. I don't know. We're just staring at each other. They use it as their ticket sales promotion. Me and him and I staring at each other.
That's right.
It was a very awesome moment. That was early in the season.
Yes. it
Beat
was
the Chiefs.
Hot start for the Colts.
Jonathan
Roof's
Taylor
open,
looked
I think.
happy.
Roof's open. I think the roof is open. So that means it's still warm a little bit.
Yeah, early in the season.
That still was a bad ball, though.
It's Matt Ryan. Yeah, I mean, no offense, Matt Ryan. You're going to be great on CBS.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's still making $40 million from the Colts, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it seems. What you say?
He need to be throwing that ball up here.
Every time. We got
Every
those
time.
guys.
Yeah, but that's how tall he is. Doesn't even have to be that high because right here is too tall for most people.
Pack, you're 180 pounds right now.
Like no arms.
I mean, dude, we should be good. Hey, get healthy, Joy.
Yeah,
let's go,
good
baby.
luck. And you said Pierce too. Said Pierce was looking great as well.
Yeah, Pierce got that deep ball from Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
I guess they say if it's in his area, he's catching it. That's kind of the MO of old Pierce around the equipment managers, trainers, and stuff like that.
He's also kind of a big son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You don't
they all
really,
are.
but like you go to a game and see him in person, it's like, oh, this guy's fucking big too.
So Quentin's huge. Ryan Kelly's huge. I assume our tackles are big.
Buckner.
Buckner's
DeForest
huge.
Buckner is
Noticeably
huge.
huge.
Jelani Woods, Mo Alley Cox, this Underwood guy who's getting healthy. I guess he's. I did not see him. I think he's still kind of coming back from something, or maybe he was in practice. I didn't see it. They say he's a guy.
Mark Pittman's huge.
This is huge. Michael Pittman Jr. is his name.
Excuse me.
He's not a Mark. You guys, I saw him getting acupuncture.
He's a mark for touchdowns.
I'm like, you put this Colts training staff doing acupuncture.
Yeah.
Is that happening in Bengals?
They got everything now.
That's next level.
Bro, they're doing
It's done changed from when we was playing, Pat.
I walked in there and I see needles in people. I'm like, what the fuck's going on right here? Who's doing this? Who's qualified to do this?
Wearing geese.
And the one guy I know is like, you're a boy. What are you?
What?
I'm like, when did you start? When did? Oh, you would have really benefited from this. I'm not signing up for this, but like, I do appreciate that you guys are doing that. I think they're expecting a big year out of Pittman. Big year.
Yeah, this is the one for him.
He's Flash. He's the Flash in there.
I mean, he's been good with all these shitty quarterbacks they've had. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some other teams. Kirk Cousins and Joe Burrow. Okay?
Here we go.
This is Boston Connor's segment.
Whoa.
Why?
This is Boston Connor's segment.
Thank you.
Boston Connor has brought this to my attention numerous times. Have you seen the graphic? No. You haven't seen the graphic? No, I'll send you the graphic. Sends me the graphic. I don't open it within the first 15, 20 minutes. He goes, that graphic's crazy. I'm like, haven't seen the graphic. Still, I apologize. I'll look at the graphic. He basically tells me he doesn't understand how I haven't seen the graphic, how my algorithm hasn't forced it into my eyes, and that the fact that I didn't look at his message to open the graphic, I was disrespecting stats from the NFL as a whole. He said, look at the graphic. So literally in front of me, I have to pull out my phone, I open the graphic, I look at it. And I go, God damn.
Yeah.
Trash.
That is
Crazy graphic.
That is a crazy.
It's
wild.
That is a crazy, crazy graphic. Now, we all know Kirk Cousins is the quarterback dandy from everybody right now.
Yeah.
Everybody loves him from the show Quarterback.
Yes.
He's the most relatable human, I think, to anybody that has not played football, that has ever played in the NFL and has been good in football. And I think a lot of people were wondering, how come this guy that we beloved after we got to learn a little bit more from a behind-the-scenes documentary on Netflix, why does he have this title of this guy that can't perform in a big game? And Kirk in there was like, I think I played pretty good in this.
I got a lot of game balls.
I think I game every single one we have. I'm sorry. I mean, I guess we don't win them, but it's because primetime games we're playing against good teams. You start looking into his stats, and I love Joe Burrow. Hey, I love Joe Burrow.
You do.
This is not a knock on Joe Burrow.
No.
This is hey, this guy is known to be a fucking killer in big moments. That is what he is. He is a stone cold killer in big moments. They even have that video of him in the snow.
Oh, yeah, turning around.
Yeah. It's like, this is the coldest motherfucker in the league. That's what, you know. And then Patrick Mahomes obviously is like, everybody.
Yeah.
Huh?
Take it easy.
Let's cool it down a little bit.
That's right.
But this Kirk Cousins guy, that's the nerd who can't win the big one. And then all of a sudden, you start looking at these stats, somebody puts it on the internet, Clutch Points does, and it's like, yo, huh?
Bullshit.
What?
Bullshit.
You think they're making up stats?
Man, listen, are we going to really compare Joe to Kirk?
I mean,
that is what we are not.
If you own the team, which one you want?
No, I first and foremost, Joe Burrow's better than Kirk.
Can we compare them to?
Yeah, we are right now.
Right now.
Pac-Man. Look at the numbers, Pac.
Look at the
numbers.
numbers.
Don't look at me. Look at the numbers.
This is why I saw the graphic and I didn't send it in, because that would have been, you're a Steelers fan, you're biased, and I'm so glad that you sent it in, because he's an unbiased third party, and Joe
Where
doesn't
Kirk
have
them
it.
been? Where Kirk them been?
I can't say
Have
this.
how many playoff games they done won?
No, but that's
Where they been?
That's what we're saying. That's you're
actually you're helping the graphic.
Yes, you're helping the graphic.
So what this graphic is saying, like, hey, you see that one? 28 points per game allowed.
Yeah.
Damn it, Kirk.
Yeah.
That's kind
That's
of what people are saying.
Yeah.
People are saying, like, Kirk continues to get ragged on whenever his team potentially doesn't show
Some
up.
people were
saying
saying that the Bengals defense scored a 98-yard touchdown when the Ravens were on the goal line last year in the first round of the playoffs.
Who's saying? I didn't see
I didn't see that.
I didn't see anybody say
Well, it happened. I saw it with my
That
own
happened?
eyes.
Oh, you said that.
It
What?
did happen, though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, but that's what. And no one
It's
on
not
this
a good
stage.
show, bro.
No one on this stage. I don't think. I won't speak for anyone else. I think we all would take Joe Burrow over Kirk Cousins. I'm not saying that Kirk Cousins is better than Joe Burrow.
Well,
I'm so saying.
I'm
Take
only doing
these
it.
numbers and put that shit in the trash.
But hey, look, I didn't make the numbers. I didn't write the numbers. I mean, Pac-Man, what you see is it's the truth. And
sometimes
absolutely,
number
Burrow steps up in big moments. It's just from this you can clearly see Joe Burrow, and we love Lou Anarumo. Just Joe Burrow has had more help in his entire time with the Bengals.
That is what this graphic
Can I add a line?
says.
Joe Burrow
Can I add a line to
killed
this?
the first year. He had receivers.
Yeah,
with
these
no
are playoffs.
line.
This is playoffs.
It's
They didn't make the
playoffs.
playoffs. They won 4 games.
I can add a line, though. Fucking Joe Burrow line went to a white party, got hurt after going to it. Kirk Cousins didn't go to a white party, had a fire in his back.
Ruben throws great party.
Yeah.
There's no reason to bring that up.
Stretching his calf instead of going to a white party.
Oh, you don't think they were pulling muscles at that place? You are out of your damn mind. He survived that part. He got stronger at
I'm
that
sure
point.
they were wrestling there.
Kirk was reading the Bible behind the fire. What was Kirk doing? Kirk was reading the Bible
By the fire, yeah.
Training his brain.
with his boy.
Yeah, it ain't how you start, how you finish, I guess.
TB12 brought Guerrero, and Guerrero was on his knees the whole night massaging people's calves. So I wouldn't be worried.
I
about
don't know if
that.
Guerrero wanted this, but I did see Joe Burrow looking super cool.
He did.
And that is why he is not only a killer on the field, off the field, seemingly a dog.
Yeah.
He brought back the part undercut,
He
which
did.
I had as a child,
Yeah,
and
me-
my calyx kind of forced me to potentially do if I grow my hair out. So I appreciate everything. This graphic, I don't know what Clutch Points was trying to say. Hey, you need to hold this up. You need to
That's right.
take this up at Clutch Points.
Aim your weapon.
We are saying we are fans of the way this guy performs. So let's also potentially say, hey, Kirk, good job in those big
Yeah,
games.
good work, Kirk.
Good work in those big games.
Yeah.
I think that's what people are saying.
All
Now,
boats rise tides.
now, more games, more wins, more success
For sure.
than this one if we're going to go for sample sizes
Exactly.
and everything like that.
The last stat on here is startling, though. I mean, Kirk is getting absolutely no help from his defense. I mean, it is kind. It's like Rodgers. You know, people shit on Rodgers all the time and say he's a choker in the playoffs. He can't. And then you go look, and it's like the Packers were scoring 35 points a game and giving up 52 points a game.
What was his QBR? 136.3. This guy can't fucking win.
This guy stinks.
This guy stinks. It is such a team sport, though, and we are part of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
sports media, kind of social media, just humans' natural instinct as a whole is a part of the problem, and just making it superstars, superstar, superstar, superstar. This is your legacy. How 52 other dudes decide to show up and perform at the same time you have to show up and perform. Now, there is something too. Like, like Jordan, Michael.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like they were going to play good in those big moments.
They were.
Or else.
You know why? Because Jordan would smack them in the mouth.
Exactly.
If they didn't, like Tom Brady's teammates,
Yeah.
they're going to play better because Tom Brady is going to give a speech
Yep.
before the game that says your families are remembered, your life is remembered.
What?
Like there's that element too that like I think this guy certainly has.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? Certainly has. That Kirk maybe we don't know. We're not 100%
Oh,
sure.
we know.
Pack. Did you watch quarterback?
Yeah, I watch quarterback.
Okay.
He's a competitor.
Yeah.
He's a competitor.
He is.
He's got that fucking thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's also why quarterbacks are making, why Kirk's making $45 million a year. Is 'cause he's not playing that bad, and then they get beat, and everyone's like, this guy fucking sucks. He's just got to take all the bullets.
hey, that's part of the job.
Exactly.
that's quarterback.
Exactly.
But Kirk, every contract Kirk have been guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
So he's
Oh,
got
sure. He's
paid
done it
really
right.
good.
Oh, that's my point.
Hey, that nerd is a great businessman.
Yes, he is.
He's a great businessman.
smart.
Also, great conversation. I mean, good handshake.
Good dude.
Good convo. He knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty good singer.
Was Millie Joe and
Not bad.
Bobby Jack there?
Who's a million?
I'm about sick of you.
Yeah, I thought
His body gurus, okay? Don't be making fun of them because
Does
they're
he
55,
travel?
60 years
Did he
old.
travel with him?
they're good.
So you did
people.
not like Kirk Cousins in this thing?
Oh, no, I love Kirk. I just...
No.
Kirk with those people was awesome
Tony.
too.
He went to the yellow pages and looked up chiropractor and was like, that seems
He's
good.
like, well, he probably did. That's Kirk.
That's Kirk.
Yeah.
That's Kirk, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was Nick's favorite part. Nick's favorite part of it was him attaching his head to things while he was driving.
He's getting better at every moment.
Except on Tuesdays.
That's
Which
right.
I did not love. I did not love that was being featured on there. Like, hey, Kirk, if you want to do that, cool. But I don't think he should be giving anybody anything else to judge him on. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I don't think Kirk in NFL films did Kirk any favors there.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the fact that throughout the whole thing, Kirk was like, yeah, this is what I am. This is who I am.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That is literally, this is who I am. His authenticity through that whole thing made me fall in love with him and his family.
Yeah.
Literally the whole thing. So, hey, Kirk, the internet's on your side
Yeah,
now.
pulling
right.
for him.
They're getting your back. Let's go,
Yeah.
baby.
Pulling for him big time. He'll never win a Super Bowl, but I'm pulling for him.
Well, and that is what I'm worried about. Is he's got this kind of groundswell of support, and then what happens if the Vikings go 7-10 this year, 6-11? Well, that's
You think Justin Jefferson's going to be on a team that's only going to win 6 games?
potentially their defense fucking sucked last year. I don't think it got much
They
better.
just signed Daniil, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
He was there last year.
He was great last year too.
Yeah, he's back. He's more money.
Yeah.
Well,
They do have Flores.
Flores will probably help a little bit.
Lost to Darius Smith.
Bro,
You
you
don't like
remember
Flores?
whenever I said,
Smith.
do you remember when I said, like, not having Dalvin Cook might change the way some defenses,
Yeah, bingo.
and I got assassinated
Yeah,
for it?
you were burying Justin Jefferson when
Yeah,
you said
people
that.
think I wasn't a fan of Justin Jefferson. Like, what, dude?
They
I
don't know
fucking
football.
love Justin Jefferson. What are we even talking about?
Although NFL Rookie Watch has said that Jordan Addison and Kirk Cousins reportedly have an unbelievable chemistry already
Yeah.
in camp. So
Marv
that could
Payton.
be.
Are they with?
They might be. Yeah.
Do
Exactly.
they have?
They might be putting those things on together.
Yeah.
Like, you know that where people put a cup with a string?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they do this number?
Exactly.
What if they both have those brain cap things?
Yeah.
And that's like a new team chemistry builder.
Cerebro.
Yeah, just kind of sending brain frequencies to each other. Kevin O'Connell, another year in the offense.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins, his first few weeks, said he had no idea what he was doing, had no idea why things were happening, even though he's a super brainiac.
back.
He was able to figure it out. I mean, maybe. I don't know, the NFC North. Who's the new Kings? I'm seeing some shit out of Jordan Love. I'm like, I think the Kings remain
Yeah.
the same.
Well, no.
Let's get to a break.
They
Let's
never
get to a
Super
break.
champion's already coming from that division, and it's neither of those two teams.
That's right.
It's the Chicago Bears.
Chicago.
Yeah, if you haven't been on the
Whoa.
freaking Dean Orshofsky's, wagon, it's time to wake up and open your eyes, people.
We are in Dan wagon season. Dan Orlovsky is latching his wagon to 7 to 10 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Just to see if any of them kind of make it. About week 11, he can go back to a clip and say, I told you.
Told you so.
Fucking said it.
Now, in the moment, he gets a good pop from the local crowd who all thinks they're potentially going to win the Super Bowl. Right now, Dan Orlovsky's going to Chicago eating for free everywhere.
That's right.
Well, Goodell called him like, hey, how should we judge the MVP this year?
Let's get to a break. AJ Hawk will be on the other side. He'll help with that. Michael Lombardi's going to have some takes on Dan Orlovsky and Dan Wagon season. I'm excited for the rest of this program with Tony Smoke Stewart as well.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, me, Pac, Smoke, and there'll be one other card, so I'll be excited to see how we figure out who the fourth is.
You already decided that.
Who did?
Thought you did.
I thought Sam was rubbing and racing.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if she...
Well,
all
that's what you said in that microphone, so I didn't.
No, I think she was going to get some hot...
Okay, got it.
But if she was...
Time trials.
Hey, listen, she wants to get in there. I'm 100% in. I think we should do a time trial, though, for the whole office.
That'd be fun.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Listen, I'll put Smoke into a wall for Junior.
So I think what we should do is...
What's Junior?
Oh, we actually have those lasers.
Oh, okay.
What we should do is... for the timing of the time trial.
Oh, I guess I'll only be the first card.
No, we can do it.
No, it's only one card going.
Yeah.
It's only one card
Time
going.
trial.
We can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be perfect.
We should definitely do time trials.
So then whoever has...
That'd be-
Hey, my wife will compete in this. So
we
she
go.
has a chance
Practice
to win.
lap
Happy
and then go.
anniversary. Let's go.
Yep.
She'll probably win it.
Let's fucking go.
Fastest time trial is obviously the fourth card. Right?
What is this, F1? We should be running heats.
We are going
What?
We are going to race. There's going to be 4 racers at some point. That last one, though, is going to have to be earned
Oh, okay.
through a boring F1 time trial style
What?
lap, hot lap or 2.
Absolutely.
Probably 3 laps. She'll probably get 2 laps. You'll get 1 lap to get rolling.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then those next 2 laps
Yep.
will count.
Yep.
Smell me?
All right. Here we go. To be clear, I do not believe I deserve to be in the race, but I own the property, so I'm going to be in it.
That's right.
Your name's on the car.
They put my name on a car.
That's
Good people.
pretty cool.
That's sweet.
Well, I assume this one's for sale. This happens. People know that I get a little handsy.
Stiff you with the bill right afterwards. Yeah.
People know that. Like, I used to have a neighbor that just used to roll things by with like for sale signs on my house. Like he'd park it right in front of his house, so it was like my house was just staring at it. Got an all-terrain vehicle that goes in the water.
Yep.
What?
Sweet.
And the ground. I bought a car off this guy from his front yard.
Motorcycle, right?
I got a motorcycle out of his front yard.
What?
He knew. He was playing Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, and he got
It was.
Yep.
He knew. I think this guy got the message loud and clear. Hey, look at this one. I got stickers on it.
very sweet.
All right, let's pause for a second here. Zito did some sleuthing here. This tweet has been deleted, but it was screenshotted. This is from Dalvin Cook's trainer, Nick Hicks. If Jets fans knew what DC said today in training, they'd be heartbroken.
Oh, no.
Cry face.
No.
This is Dalvin Cook's trainer is what we're saying, and this is real.
I believe so. That's from Gumpy.
Gumpy, our internet splunker,
Sure.
has found this particular tweet that has since been deleted from Dalvin Cook's trainer. This is all alleged.
What?
But with that being said, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook. That was happening just yesterday or 2 days ago at training camp. He's walking around the sideline, seemingly in meetings, in training, talking, learning the playbook.
What?
We got to figure out the business here in a second. Nick Hicks is like, well, today during squats, he was not saying good stuff. What happened out here?
Not forget that Gumpy's also part of Fin Fam, who really,
Oh,
really
God, don't put. Let's get to a break.
Now we know what he said.
Good point.
Also, how come?
What'd he say?
I mean, I'm sure Nick Hicks or maybe Dalvin had a protein shake before they worked out. So maybe one of them, farted. And I bet Dalvin Cook said, Jesus, it smells just like Jersey in here now. That's what he said.
He could have.
Possible.
He could have.
Definitely Bob.
We will wait to hear if that is an accurate reading of what took place. Could be.
Yeah.
Very possible.
And if I'm a Jets fan, that's what I'm pulling for.
Yeah.
Because it does. As soon as you go in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Not all of Jersey.
No.
There's
No.
beautiful parts of Jersey. Not
Love
saying
Jersey.
that. But Jersey people know.
They know.
And anybody that's ever accidentally driven into Jersey
Yeah.
They know.
knows.
Roll the windows up.
It smells so fucking bad.
does.
We played at Rutgers.
Oh, yeah.
Was it terrible every time you played there as well?
Horrible.
Terrible. We're not their fault, obviously.
No. Piscataway's a shithole. It's not their fault. I mean, just it is what it is.
Yeah.
Go Knights.
That's right.
All right, we're back in 5 with AJ Hawk. We'll find out if that is an actual real tweet. Was him saying.
Yeah, was him.
And wow, the Jets place smells. I don't think I want to play here.
Shit.
Could be.
You go to Seattle, they're right on that like ocean or whatever. It has that view.
Puget Sound.
Jimmy Graham was landing on, you know. You go down to Miami, they got palm trees.
There you go.
It's like absolutely beautiful. Here in Indianapolis, you got a golf course surrounding it.
Yeah.
Practice facilities can be beautiful. The views can be amazing. What if it is just such a shitty smell that Dalvin Cook can't do it? That'd be a shame. We don't know if that's real or not.
No, we don't.
Just something to think about.
Guessing.
Take a break. Tell a friend something sweet. Take a poop and take 5. We have some massive news.
A lot of blessings piling up that I ain't even wish for. No, not the one for y'all. I'm locking the fridge door at the crib, cutting hits. I read through the catalog, came to conclusion, no one's touching it. Just finished and made a voyage. I've been on the main burn, said I'm trying to kill them off, whatever it takes. I see the boats, I'm at home. I'm selfish with the goals. I could give a fuck who try and get along. 6'3", you can't look me in the eyes.
Thank you, man.
Welcome the incomparable Pat McAfee.
But as soon as we get backstage, I see Serena Williams like 6 feet from me. I'm like, oh my God. Hello, hello, hello. You look fantastic. Massive room. Did not expect to see this many incredibly important humans to the media world. And then all of a sudden, guess who pops by? Ryan Seacrest.
Bro, Ryan Seacrest, how are you? Congratulations.
Legend, bro. And holy shit, Ryan Seacrest is here. Honestly, your work ethic is something that people really inspire you. Why am I here? Great question. Sweet cowboy hat. How you doing, dude? Makes me look thinner. The Kardashians?
Bullshit.
Come out of the elevator? Hey, good luck out there. Thank you. My show, my guys and I will be joining the ESPN universe. And we are so incredibly pumped, honored, and thankful to be doing that. And a lot of people are wondering, you know, why would you ever want to do that when you run a couple $100 million valued company with full independence and the ability to kind of do whatever I want, whenever I want, with my crew that is one of the hardest working group of men on this earth. And it's because I had the incredible opportunity over the last 2 months to chit chat with the leadership at ESPN. I go up to a lounge, Alex Honnold, you know, the guy that was climbing?
Yeah.
I'm like, holy fuck, that's that guy who just hangs off the side of cliffs or whatever. And I think the future of sports media is certainly something that we're kind of creeping in on. Digital has become an influence. It has the structure. It has the ability to reach millions and millions of people. Dan Orlovsky, after his riveting performance on the stage, which it was,
Gets a Shirley Temple.
he comes, no, he got wine.
Okay.
Wow.
The future obviously says that linear television is going to be dead. ESPN, the channel, won't be able to exist. But when is that? Is that a year from now? 10 years from now? 20 years from now? Can we get to 25, maybe 30, 35, 40? By that time, I'm 65, 70 years old, and I've completely missed out on the powerhouse that is ESPN Linear. So when I was talking to Jimmy and Burt Magnus and the Bob father, Bob Iger, somehow got a chance to be in his office for an hour and a half in Burbank. That was bananas. He's now talking, I think, to the leader of France. Dumbest life of all time continues. But they all very much understood that we need to embrace both what tomorrow is and what today is. And I have the exact same vision. Then Joe Buck, Troy Aikman come walking in. I'm very thankful to announce that we'll be on ESPN, ESPN Plus, the ESPN app, and for the first time, I do believe in all of sports media, we'll be live on ESPN's YouTube at the exact same time. Jimmy, Burke, Bob understood that 98% of male Gen Zers use YouTube on a daily basis. So being live there and on ESPN, we should be able to reach the entire world, hopefully, if I don't fuck it up, which I might have just did by saying the F word in this room right here.
You met the real Demar Hamlin, not Michael B. Jordan.
Are you sure?
Not the actor, not the clone.
How's the upfronts? He is in Disney movies.
The clones look exactly the same as real people.
That's the actual clone type. It is an incredibly special time for me. This is my first time out of my house in 2 weeks. My wife and I actually, boom, first baby. She just started farting 2 days ago. Real deal. That was a game changer. But my wife, my baby, my guys, and everybody that I know are honored to be a part of the ESPN family, and we hope that we'll be able to work with all of you. Cheers, and have an incredible day.
Good, man. How you doing? You good? Don't keep running the world, though.
Hey, no, that's you, dude. That's you. That's you.
Trip to New York, I think, was a success. The upfront was hilarious. I had no idea that room was going to be that big.
This is awesome, isn't it?
That was the most suits I've ever seen in my entire life. We're pumped to join the family, and I am very grateful that they're going to let us do it our way. And I said, fuck it at Disney upfront. So.
This would be a pretty legendary thing later in life. You'll probably look at it and say, wow, that was pretty good suit. All right, the next chapter begins. Ain't that right, Mickey?
Hell yeah. What do you think you can run right now? You think you're still sub 4.5? Like
a 4.9?
You think you're sub 4.5?
I can jog a 4.5, bro.
Bro, you are not going 4.4 right
I don't think
How
so
old are you?
either.
I can jog a 4.5.
Okay, 4.5 Winterlord, 39 years old.
Yeah.
Eats nerd ropes every single day.
And twin snakes.
Yeah, and Hardee's with jelly and bacon.
And has his own marijuana strain. Start calculating all of that. And then you can down him if you want. I'm betting under. Let's go.
I think Pat can run a 4.51 right on the dot.
Hey, 56.5% of 1,673 people say, you ain't got it, Pac.
Yeah,
They've been telling me that shit my whole life.
This is a big deal, dude. This guy ran 4.28 at the combine. He's 39 years old. If he runs into 4.4s, are you fucking kidding me?
Good.
Oh my God! Oh, 4.515. Oh, my heartbreaker.
That's when I broke the run. Y'all owe me money. Owe me money, motherfucker. He owe me. He owe me. 05.
That was a great run.
Yeah.
You didn't. I think you.
Yeah. I only had one in. Yeah, Tom, post it. Post it. Fucking 40 years old.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. Hour 2 of the sports program starts now.
Football
Is happening, and we're all in sync because we're all excited that we are only
37 days
away from NFL football as the Chiefs and Detroit Lions will kick off an epic season in Kansas City as a banner and a celebration is had without the bank-robbing wolf who has been put into jail for once and for all.
Hell yeah.
Talks Tables here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor, and at Boston Connor's mullet. That looks fantastic.
Thank you, Pat. You know, it's really come together. I think this is a possible forever cut for me here. Maybe not the length. The length is very long, but
Could you imagine you rock that mullet for the rest of your life?
I think there's a chance.
You wake up, look in the mirror every single day, and that's the bucket. I love it. I absolutely love that that's a possibility because you do look your absolute best in my eyes.
Yeah, I love it because I love having long hair. I always have. There's multiple times in my life where I've had had, the long hair back to short hair, back to that journey back to long hair. And I don't want to take that journey ever again. And being able to bun it in the back is really what changes.
Yeah, I mean, you look super cool whenever you do that. I thought you actually cut your hair the first time I seen you after a little bit of a break because you had the bun on.
Yeah.
In the back. I thought you maybe skydove in Puerto Rico and cut your hair off.
No way.
I didn't know what was going on. If you maybe fell in love down there with a little senorita.
Sure.
You got the haircut and everything. Was that the case?
No. But the hair comes with the love. if that ever
Paquito,
happens.
you could see how he could potentially fall in love with a little senorita down in Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah. Puerto Rican girls are beautiful, but be careful, guys.
Why, the clap?
Zito is from Cuba, Cuban family. I don't know what you just said there about Puerto Rico, but don't be dropping my white ass into this particular Latino situation.
No, we're good. They're absolutely amazing women, but you just got to be careful.
They're fiery.
Yes.
Oh, Tone.
Nothing wrong with
I don't know if you do. You know anything about this situation?
He immediately said yes, yeah.
One half of the Hammer Dahn Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. The Italian culture
exactly.
is
They're fiery
a
as well.
very joining us on stage, an absolute dog, a man who was in the NFL for
14.
Damn, that's so long. At corner,
Too long.
the entire time. Former number
6
overall pick,
Hell yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, rapper, icon, Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah, Pac.
Good to see you, Pac. We missed you, pal. You got the Tour Junkies T-shirt on.
Yeah.
Who's Tour Junkies? That's that old buddy?
Yeah.
Solely.
DP.
No, DB.
Oh.
DP.
DB.
DB. I liked him.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot when he was on our program. They got a golf
Goes
program.
on here. Don breaks it down for us every week. Now they're in the playoffs, I believe.
He literally won me my only golf bet this year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you.
Yeah, that's right.
Ricky.
Yeah.
Ricky, he said, this is the first week in 3 years that I say, do not bet on Ricky Fowler. The odds aren't good enough. I was like, well, fucking A. That if I've heard anything in my life about gambling, that sounds like somebody knows about what's going to take place. And lo and behold, Ricky wins. But he came on our program, did a great job. I fucking love that you're rocking their shit. Joining us now is a man who is the biggest sandbagger in the history of golf.
By far.
But the reason why that is the case, because I think he likes to remain like super humble image looking guy.
Sure.
How can you be humble, though, if you're as handsome as this guy is?
What?
He's currently the president of Ohio.
Yep, that's right.
He's a college football national champion. That means at the amateur level. College, went all the way to the mountaintop.
Yeah.
Saw the sights, saw the scenes, did the party, how you doing? Then he got in the NFL, number 5 overall pick.
Whoa.
Yeah, really rich, really well. Old CBA.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah.
CBA.
Yep. Damn.
Very wealthy. Then he goes and wins the Super Bowl.
Holy shit.
Then he becomes the all-time leading tackler for the one of the oldest franchises in the history of professional sports.
Unbelievable.
All the while remaining in Ohio. Fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. How you doing, AJ?
Hey, happy anniversary, man. I saw it. 3 years. That's impressive, man. Congrats.
Thank you. How long have you and Laura been together?
Oh, man.
Oh,
Like
yes.
17?
Okay, on my anniversary, going to ruin your marriage.
Oh, gee.
No, we have 2 anniversaries, so they're hard to keep track of anyway. July 29th is one of them. But yeah, that was our first one.
Okay, well, happy anniversary. That's when you guys met or got married. Is that the 2 different anniversaries?
Now, we went and got married like in a little lawyer's office or whatever, and then we had our scheduled wedding the following spring that we had like all that and had all our friends and everybody there.
You would be a guy that would go down to a courthouse and kind of just get it done. And I appreciate the fact that Laura was there as well. And you guys said, it ain't about us. Let's just have a party. I like that. So humble. Even more so.
Bingo.
You know, I don't need the whole wedding.
They
Don't need-
celebrate the split jersey anniversary as well.
Yeah, which was
smart.
what day? That was
Yep.
January.
January 6th.
Good question.
That's his birthday.
Oh, yeah.
January 6th is his birthday. They had that parade in Washington, D.C. a few years ago.
Yep.
See, that's the thing right there.
I don't know if that's what they call it. I don't think it was a parade.
It looked like it.
What did old buddy say? Dust
Here's a
up?
dust up.
Del Rio.
Del Rio. Yeah, there was some crazy shit that happened in Washington, D.C. on this guy's birthday. We're not saying that the 2 went hand in hand, but that was certainly a good January 7th for us.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
Found out.
For our world. Hey, January. We hope everybody's safe.
Yes.
Always.
And hell yeah to American freedom.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
And let's not be storming anything.
That's right.
Ever again.
Let's just go ahead and, live.
Unless you're storming
That's
the
the beaches
beaches.
because we're going to dominate a fucking war.
Amen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like beach volleyball or something like that. I didn't know you were going to take that all the way to war, but we're not warmongers around here. We hope everybody's okay. We hope everybody remains safe. And happy birthday to you. I'm happy they did that in D.C. for you then. Let's talk about some things that we've talked about today. Damar Hamlin has been handling being Damar Hamlin and his new celebrity fame, and also all eyes on him at all times in a beautiful fashion, I do believe. Did you see his press conference? And what are your thoughts on this guy being back in pads in practicing in the NFL? Like, this isn't like The NFL is not easy. Like making a training camp, not easy. Okay, not easy, obviously. I'm not saying Damar Hamlin was ever near not making a training camp in his football life, but I'm saying from being dead on TV to back in an NFL training camp in this amount of time is just mind-blowing. I don't think I fully wrapped my mind around it. What are your thoughts on it, AJ Hawk?
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but as far as football goes, I can't ever remember seeing anything like this ever happen before. I mean, guys have come back from crazy things, but the heart thing, watching how it was just everywhere, worldwide, not even national. Like, it was everywhere. And I remember, I think we talked about in the show, like, people were saying, oh, I don't know if he's going to play football again. Like, who cares about football right now? That was how we were for the longest time. And now for him, though, I saw his presser. It's got to be tough for him. He wants to get back to normal, I would assume. And it's really hard because everyone wants a piece of him. And he's sitting here like, I get it. But also, I have a pretty tough gig that I have to take care of every single day out here on the field.
Joining us now is the man who's the general manager of the team that Damar Hamlin plays for. He's put together quite a roster that is always in conversation about winning a Super Bowl. How's the pressure? Who cares? You need to perform, and it better be great. Joining us now, a great golfer.
Great golfer.
Yeah. I guess he's a great golfer.
Real stick.
I wonder how the golf season went this particular offseason. Joining us now, general manager for the Buffalo Bills. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Bean.
Appreciate that, Pat.
Hey, I appreciate you, Brandon. I don't know if you see what I just put on the back here just to make you feel a little bit more at home. This is your new stadium that's coming here in a few years. And I've been told, Bean, and I don't want to do this immediately upon the conversation. I'm asked about Demar, and I'm asked about the team and all the good stuff you guys got going and everything like that. I've been told, Bean, okay, I'm not happy about it, and neither are the people. These fucking Buffaloes are not the size of the ones that are going to be in real life.
That's right.
I've been told that you guys got little baby buffaloes in real life, and on this sketch, these things are almost the size of the stadium. Where was the miscommunication being? Are we getting big-ass buffaloes, or is it going to be little smaller buffaloes out there in real life?
We're going to get big-ass buffaloes.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Huge.
All right. Let the Buffalonians know, brother.
That's right.
Let the Buffalonians know, brother. We got big buffaloes coming to town.
Hopefully some live ones. How about that?
Oh, could you imagine you had them just...
Holy shit.
Like that was a part of it, like your miniature golfing, the humans. Just like buffaloes storming.
Have them lead you out. Have them lead the team out of the tunnel. Have like 5 of them lead the whole team.
Like Colorado. Yeah, that thing is Ralphie, I believe, is the name of the buffalo. Anyways, good luck with the new stadium build. And we did hear that there was little baby buffaloes and there was Buffalonians that were not happy about it. So I'm happy to hear we got big-ass buffaloes. That's good news. Shit, put it on the ticker.
I'm all over it. Big ass buffaloes.
Okay, thank you. How's the team? How's the vibes? How's the morale? We were just talking about Damar Hamlin. Obviously, this situation is something AJ just alluded to. We've never seen before. And I was at the ESPYs 2 weeks ago, and there were so many video packages, and I got a chance to meet Denny Kellington and the entire team there and kind of relive that whole moment that was so scary I couldn't even imagine knowing him like you guys know him and being a part of it, but we all had our worst nightmares, and now he's back on the field in pads, seemingly handling it perfectly. I mean, what a situation for Damar Hamlin. What have you seen out of him, or what did you know about him maybe that you thought, and then what do you know about him now after this entire experience being?
I know he is one courageous dude, to go through a near-death experience on the football field, playing this, it's a gladiator sport as we all know it, and to do that at all, much less in front of the whole world. I mean, everybody's been following this story ever since it happened, all the way to where we're at, and it's going to continue. I told him when he decided he was definitely coming back, I'm like, your story is yet to be written, and it's going to be exciting to watch your journey, and he's just so positive. Mentally tough, mentally strong. Everybody's here just supporting him. And yesterday was awesome in the sense that he's putting pads on. We're lining up, and he's really about to line up in 9-on-7 and be ready to square dudes up. I mean, I'd like to consider myself a tough dude, but that's a tough dude.
We were talking about that, how when I had any of my knee things, whenever you get back into it, my first fear was I'm going to hurt it again. Or there's a little bit of pain, I'm going to hurt it again. There's a mental hurdle that people have to get over after getting injured. And we talked about this in the first hour. It's that is a big one. Standard tackle.
Yes.
Death happening. Yeah. And then on the other, just being next training camp, I'm not missing a day. That type of stuff is unfathomable for my brain. But that's because, I'm one of these baby buffaloes instead of one of the big ass buffaloes you're going to put out there. I assume behind the scenes over there, it's an incredible conversation about everything happening in the building with him.
No, it is. Everyone knew that yesterday was going to be a big day. It's not, it was the biggest hurdle. Yeah, he still got hurdles. We still got to play games and do more live scrimmage stuff. But literally strapping those pads on, that helmet on, is a different feeling. Pads, the first day of pads, you guys know, the first day of pads, everybody, you haven't done it since, either last January, February, depending on when your season ended. And so a lot of guys are nervous, and that's just natural. But you're talking about a guy who the last time he had pads on, stuff was being cut off. His life was having to be revived. So super proud of him. It's a great moment for him, for our team, just the whole country to be excited about his story.
We're all celebrating you guys up there for that, and obviously wish him nothing but the best. Yinzer, so you got to remember that. Tough guy. Going to be a tough guy, Yinzer.
For sure.
AJ has a question for you, Bean.
Brandon, I was interested in what's it like as a GM to actually sit there and observe and watch practice with all these guys in the roster that you put together. I was just thinking, back in the day, I used to stand by Ted Thompson sometime, the late, great GM in Green Bay when I was there, and he would sit there and every play, he'd just say, okay, easy, okay, and he'd try to walk in and almost end every single play before the whistle, and he'd get Madwick with all the extracurricular. I wonder what it's like as a GM.
It's exactly that, exactly what Ted was doing. You're looking, and when bodies go down, you're looking to see, is everybody getting up? Are all the limbs intact? Nothing, no trainers running over there. You're happy. I always walk over to our trainer as soon as practice is over, like, hey, did I miss anything? Because sometimes you got, we run a couple of periods where we got guys playing on one field and another. Maybe I missed it, but you want to get better out there, but I'm always the happiest when we walk off the field. We didn't lose anybody.
Yeah, I think that is probably the fans' mindsets as well. As we kind of watch along that first day of training camp or first day of practice, it was like Joe Burrow, Jalen Ramsey, names start going out there. Whenever you see that, like that just slaps reality right back in your face. Like, hey, this could happen once we get back into this.
You got 90 guys, and so it's going to happen. I mean, we've had a few guys here and there, but even we ran a play yesterday. They ran a little trick play, and Josh took a hit, and he goes down, and it's like, your air goes out, and you're just like, please, that's your quarterback. Every team's going to do that for anybody, much less your starting quarterback. So
tell me when he stands. Up.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me when
you're looking over there. He's over, and then he's getting up and he's giggling. I'm over there going, dude, are you all right? Like, are you messing around? Like, don't do that.
Yeah, we need not to see you in that position ever again. I've told you the last few years that I'd like you to trade Josh Allen to us. I don't want any more.
Yeah. Nope.
We got a guy, Anthony Richardson. Okay, I go to training camp. And I watch this practice, and I'm like the rest of the NFL fan base. Like, I see things, I'm like, okay, we can win this year.
Go.
Holy shit. And then we're a part of the problem, being because we have NFL rights. So we show these highlights of these young guys that have never stepped foot on an NFL field before. They're wearing maybe spiders, not even anywhere near pads. They're running one-on-ones with a linebacker who's working on a new technique. They end up wide open, and it's like, oh, this guy's going to be the next insert name of Hall of Fame football player that played for 20 years at a very high thing. How do you, as a GM, whenever you're figuring out who's going to make your team and not make your team, how do you balance like those highlight moments, like, oh, this guy could fit in the NFL, versus also like reality of like, we haven't really seen shit, right? Is that kind of where we're at training camp right now in your eyes, or has there been enough to kind of get a good read?
Well, I mean, first off, we just put it on pads yesterday. I mean, and before that, there's still the social media sensation. Some clip gets out there that a media member put out there, or a fan or whatever, and then whoever it is. This guy's going to be hard to stop. You're right. It's one-on-ones. He's got no safety help. Whatever the situation is, stuff that doesn't happen. I mean, we don't play. It's not a one-on-one game. I mean, there are spots where it's man whip a man, but there's so much where you got various helps, and the defenses. The quarterback standing back there. No pressure on him, being able to stand flat-footed and deliver a throw. So,
Bean, stop making excuses.
Come on.
The reality of it. But how do you balance that, though? How do you balance, like, seeing that and then also, like, is the guy good enough to make the team full-time? Because there's only 50. Is there more spots now? At 53 is still the number?
53, yeah. We're at 90-man, but you got to cut it to 53 and then 16 back on the practice squad. So, no, I mean, you're kind of putting your units together. You're mixing guys up. All right, if this guy's doing well with the threes, let's start putting him with the twos. Is he doing just as well with the twos? If he is, let's get him some reps with the ones. Oh, you know what? Not quite as effective as the one. Let's put him back with the twos. You're just trying to figure out where he best belongs. Is he going to be a key backup? Is he better, on the third string as a practice squad? Or is this guy, maybe he's fighting for a starting spot? So you're kind of just moving him up and down. And as long as they continue to answer those bells, you get the preseason games. Can they answer the challenge there? Can they back it up? Is it just a one-game wonder? All right, can he do it again in game 2? So you're just doing the best you can. It's a short window. You don't get to see every look with them you want, but you're making the best decision you can.
How do you, in the balance of power of things, talent, skill, buy-in, everything, what about your culture? Feels like your culture matters up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It feels like in Buffalo, your culture matters. That's why the Stephon Diggs thing, fucking all of us were like, the hell's going on? Because everybody we talked to up there, you, Coach, Poyer, Vaughn, Joss, Micah, Noxie.
Yep.
I mean, everybody we talk to up there is like, fucking love it here. It's like a family here. We play cards here. We stay here.
Yep.
Everything. The culture you've built, I feel like everybody else would like the bottle. Not that other teams don't have it, but if everybody's looking for that. How much is that whenever you're kind of evaluating who's going to make your team through training camp? We used to be, at least I was, because I thought I was going to get cut every single year because I ran my mouth a lot and stuff like that.
That's a good mindset, though. You worked your ass off. Scared you were going to get cut every year. I like that mindset.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's enough fear these days of these motherfuckers losing their jobs. After, you know what I mean? I don't think there's enough of that anywhere. I don't think there's enough of that anywhere. But I used to think to myself, I'm going to pick up my trash, obviously, because I'm a good human. But also, there's no way I'm going to be the reason why there's some shit on the ground here. Those little things that I think some players get paranoid about, they're talking to the kitchen staff. They're talking to the equipment managers. They're talking, how much of that do you have to balance of getting in your building and then also making sure that doesn't get in? Is that a big part of team evaluation for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a big part. It's a tool. It's one of the things you're obviously evaluating how they are on the field, but are they a good teammate? Everybody can be a good teammate when you're winning, when things are going well. But we all know a 17-game season, there's going to be adversity. And our team faced a lot of it last year. And if you're going to get through the ups and downs of a 17-game season, you need team first guys all in. It's not about me, it's about we. All those slogans out there, that's real. And you're right. How do they treat the kitchen staff? How do they treat the equipment guys? How do they treat the trainers? How do they treat the security staff? All the people. How do they treat the guy that picks them up at the airport? All those people. We talk to every single. And if we've got an a-hole in here that is here for himself, the talent's not worth it. It's really not, because their true colors are going to shine at the worst moment of the season.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't show up till it shows up, I think is another one. It doesn't show up till it shows up or whatever.
Yeah.
Is all these cliches are real. The reason why they become cliches is because they are accurate in there. And don't ever say a-hole on my show again.
Jeez Louise.
Jeez, you're going to get us canceled. All right, people are already, you need to not do that on this show. I'm fucking sick of it. It is, AJ, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm fucking sorry.
No! No! Dump him! Oh! AJ, go ahead, pal.
Brandon, as far as once these preseason games start, I guess how does that process work on evaluating players on other teams that could possibly be cut? It's a tough thing to do, and I know every coach will tell every player going into preseason games, hey, every team is watching these games, so if you don't have a spot on this team, someone else could pick you up. That's got to be kind of tough to try to gauge who might get cut, who you could possibly pick up in those couple of days.
Yeah, the way we do it, AJ, is we take our pro scouting department, and those guys divide up their teams. I kind of say, hey, you're the GM of X number of teams, and we divide them up. They're following these guys all preseason. They're reading clips on them. They're watching any games they play, and it's their job. Yeah, they're not worried about the starters. If they're grading the Jets roster, they're not grading Aaron Rodgers or Garrett Wilson and those guys. They're grading the back-end guys. Who are the guys that could potentially be released that we need to know, and is it an upgrade over a guy that we have at that same position, especially as injuries happen. Right now you might go, the guy you wouldn't put a claim in for him, but if you have a couple of injuries there, you're going, man, this guy's better than the next guy we have on our roster.
You want to talk shit on Joe Douglas at all so we can get another Aaron Rodgers soundbite or no?
I love Joe Douglas.
This guy. Pac-Man has a question for you, Bean.
Bean, we know how good your team is. You pretty much have your starters if you look at it. Is it any young guys that's done stood out that you can tell us about during this process?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of our rookies, have definitely stood out. I would start with Dalton Kincaid. He had a good spring. Good start to camp. Again, another guy that you want to see more when guys are being able to press him a little bit more now that we're in pads. And is he going to be able to catch that ball, secure it, taking a hit, things like that. A couple of our linebackers, we got Tyrell. We lost Tremaine Edmonds, so we got Tyrell Dodson, who's been here a few years. Terrell Bernard's in his second year, and Balin Spector's in his second year. Those guys are all competing for a middle linebacker. We got some other guys as well, but I would say those guys, we got key eyes on at this point.
We've seen a few Kincaid things.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a lot of Kincaid talk. I mean, the rookies kind of get the most amount of chat here early in camp because everybody either wants to deem them All-Pro Hall of Fames or bust already. And the Dalton stuff on the internet has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you draft him, you said we're going to see him outside, right?
Well, we're going to flex him out. I mean, we've actually – it's funny, yesterday they had him blocking a little bit inside just to but, he's – we'll have him and Knox on the field. We'll run probably more 12 than we've run in the past. But we think he can play the F and the Y, but I would say his first position is the F and Dawson's first position be a Y.
Explain what the fuck that is.
Oh, flexed out, like a flexed out tight end. And then a Y is going to be more inline blocker. So – we'll mix it up some. It's not going to always be the same, but I would say he's best if he's flexed out more of that receiving tight end than that inline blocking tight end. But we're going to work on our, that's one of the things I know that Dalton wants to get better at is his inline blocking.
Hey, look at that little break there, huh? You got to feel good about that. It can look like a go, old buddy jump, pack. Get him under control, man.
Yeah, he looked good.
Get a little handsy out there. Ty Schmidt has a question for you, Bean.
Yeah, Brandon, obviously with how good you guys have been over the last several years, like the expectations are always there going into the season, but Pat mentioned it, with all the Demar stuff and then the Diggs stuff, which kind of fizzled out and really wasn't a big deal, but going into this year, like, have you noticed, has it been a bigger media circus than you guys have ever been around before up there, even with all the expectations? And do you ever worry about, I mean, obviously you have a bunch of veterans at key positions, but do you ever worry about, like, that type of stuff becoming a distraction as you guys are going through camp?
You do want to minimize distractions. I don't think the media presence, they've been more for Demar. The Steph stuff was more in June. I think that really, from our standpoint, fizzled out when we went on break. Maybe the national media was still talking about it over the summer, but it wasn't an issue for us internally. We talked through that in June, and so I do think there's been some media stuff around Demar, rightfully so, as we started this show off. But no, last year we had a lot of the talking heads. A lot of people were crowning us. This is the Super Bowl favorite or whatever, and so you'd rather lay low and just come out and just play ball and let your work speak for itself. So I don't think I would say this year there's probably less people that, with the AFC East getting as stacked as it is, with what the Jets have done, the Dolphins and the Patriots have made some changes, bringing Bill O'Brien and some new players there. So I don't think it's the people are out there, kind of putting the pressure or projecting us as that Super Bowl favorite like they were a year ago at this time.
Oh, we need to start doing that a little bit.
Yeah. No, let's don't.
Yeah.
Let's don't do that.
It's still the third favorite.
Not a lot of people listen to this, and it doesn't really influence anybody, but we'll scream.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? We'll scream.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills win the Super Bowl.
Best team in the NFL.
Are they going to go perfect this year? Wow.
Probably.
I looked at their
That's what they
schedule.
say.
I don't see a single L.
No.
No.
I think they're favored in every game, actually.
20 points.
Yeah.
If there's even a close game, that's a loss.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the Buffalo Bills are. I'll tell you what, we're
Hey,
part
Pat,
of the problem. We're part of the
Pat,
problem.
stop being an asshole.
Yeah. Not on this show, B. Not on this show. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Brandon, right now, one of the big things with training camp is these holdouts. And obviously, the Bills aren't a team that's dealing with that, but there's some big names, Bosa, Zach Martin,
Josh
Jacobs, some others. But for you, as the GM, what is kind of that process like? Are you reaching out a lot, or is it kind of similar to if you're negotiating with a free agent where there might not be any talks or negotiations for a little, and then you come back and revisit it right before, maybe the first or second preseason game?
If you're saying if I'm one of the GMs of those teams that has to hold out? Yeah, I think you're fortunately we haven't had to deal with that here, but I think what you're doing is you're trying to keep the lines of communication. Maybe you're in disagreement on what the price is or what one's looking for the other. I think you're trying to have as much open dialogue as you can, and hopefully you're putting some kind of deadlines. Hopefully both parties can agree, hey, we've got to come to some consensus, because we all know that people react and respond to deadlines. And is it game one? Is it to get him in some preseason action? You got to kind of agree on some terms that, hey, by this point, we got to get this resolved. I don't care if we got to stay up all night every night for 2 or 3 days, but hopefully, and worst case, have the agent fly to you or you fly to them, sit in a room, and let's knock this out so we can get the player back in uniform.
Business is always better done in person. That's why we got Faith O'Gumpy's coming back to the United States of America soon. Hopefully that'll be the case. But I believe you told us that whenever you heard there was potentially some rumblings that Stephon Diggs and the Vikings weren't really great anymore, this is kind of a job of a GM, you kind of poke your head in and say, hey, what's going on over there? And then there's, some stuff. Whenever you guys and Diggs were going through the couple-day, very public, seemingly situation, was there calls? And have you been on the phone with anybody with any of the situations going on in the NFL right now?
No, no one called on Diggs. I think people know that he's ours, and we wouldn't, even if there was an issue. And he was never asking to be. That never came up. I got a great relationship with his agent, Adisa Bakari, so it was truly never an issue. It was just more us getting in a room and talking through how last season finished and getting on the same page. But no, with the guys right now that are out there, we have not. I think if those GMs were interested in doing business, or they thought, hey, I'm going to trade this player, they would definitely reach out. So we just kind of sit back and let them handle it. And like I said, if they feel like they want to, I'm sure they would start shopping them to teams around the league.
Go ahead, AJ.
Do you ever get time to relax? Like, when do you have? I guess we just came off your off time, right? I know you're a good golfer, but what is your day-to-day during camp? I would imagine is a 24-hour gig. Like, I don't know. From here on out, you're just in for the long haul, aren't you? Until the Super Bowl.
Pretty much. I mean, I do play a lot of golf during the summer.
How was the season? How were we? Did we suck this year, or are we good?
You know what I always do, Pat? I get my game and my swing right where I want it, and then we got to put the sticks up. But fortunately, here in Rochester, we're right across the street from Oak Hill, where they played the PGA Championship this year. So snuck over there a couple times the day before camp, and then we had an off day Saturday. And we got one more coming up, so I'm gonna try to find my way over there. But other than that, yeah, we're just here. We're watching, watching our guys breaking down, our film and getting guys ready to, start looking at other NFL rosters.
All right, $50,000 donation, charity of your choosing. What do we need that over/under to be for that next time you go to Oak Hill? Hey, listen, we're doing a lot of faith right now, and you being, hey, $50,000 ain't nothing to sneeze at. 80?
I got the
under. 72.
I thought his handicap was 6.
I've heard you're a stick, so you're trying to sandbag us like AJ Hawk right now a little bit. How about we do this? We'll do 79.
Okay.
79 will donate $25,000. Better than 79 will donate $50,000. Above it, Brandon Bean donates $2 million.
Okay.
A little pressure. Hey, a little pressure on those. Little pressure.
That'd be a lot of pressure.
No. Sorry. So you go under 79, $50,000. 79 will be $25,000. Above that, obviously, we'll act like it didn't happen. Nobody will remember this. We're just going to move on.
I'll be glad to donate if I go over it.
How much?
25.
Wow. That's a compliment.
Beast.
Wow.
All right. Yep. Look at that. That's how deals are made. We're not in person, but
Guy's a hell of a guy.
able to do what we got to do. Tone has a question for you.
Brandon, I was looking at the roster that you built, and you already had a bunch of pass rushers in Shaq Lawson and Vaughn and Russo and Epineza, and then you add Leonard Floyd, and you even bring in Shane Ray. Like, did you look at your defense and you said we need to get better at getting to the quarterback, or did you just look at every single team in the AFC has a quarterback, and that's how you're going to win games?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it is. Ultimately, when you get to those, we've been fortunate enough. We won the division the last few years. We've got into the playoffs. We've made some runs, but the further you go, the better those quarterbacks are. And so, obviously, your quarterback's got to play well, but you got to affect the other team's quarterback if you're going to get over the top. So, always trying to find different ways to pressure those guys, different types of rushers, power, speed, finesse. All those guys that can play, inside can rush from the outside. So. That's it. That's what it is. Just trying to, and also keeping them fresh. As many guys that we can rotate in there. That's just how we like to build this defense.
I think that's how it's like weapons on offense, seemingly very deep in the teams that are going, and then pass rushers very deep on the teams that are going. It seems to be trends with the way the game is shifting. Is that why this is what football has become? And do you see this being the trend forever, or is like are we going to get back to like right now the running back market and is a big conversation.
Yeah.
Obviously, the running back market's a big conversation, but the game has changed than what it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. The rules have changed that. Do you think something's cyclical, though, or are you trying to make your team for what football is now, or do you have to project like a change in the game in the future? Because if everybody gets small, you would assume that what teams are going to do is they're going to get big. Like you would just assume that somebody's going to do that. Do you think about that as a whole whenever you're shaping the team, or is that not really cross your mind because it's too much bullshit?
No, I think you're always trying to figure out, well, how can you best build your team to give you as many advantageous matchups as possible. And the rules, it's more of you said it, the league is set up more for passing. The rules are set up from pass interference, illegal contact. There's just so many rules that you're going to score more points if you can throw the ball effectively. You do have to be able to run the ball. We don't want to just be a passing team. You're going to play weather games. You're going to play teams that are really good at, you can't slow down their pass rush unless you can run it. So we want to be able to do both. But if the teams that generally are winning the Super Bowl or winning the AFC or NFC championships, they're able to throw the football. And so, that's kind of where we start.
Hey, you got a running back situation going on right now, and it's very touchy, and it's not just your team that probably has eyes on this particular situation that's viewing. It's the entire NFL on precedent and what's going on with Naim Hines. Now, obviously, we love Naim. He was here in Indy whenever he went to Buffalo. We are very, very pumped up for him. What I heard happen to him is so fucking heartbreaking. I couldn't even imagine him or you guys with the hopes of what this year would be another year in the system with what takes place. Yeah. Behind the scenes, how's that conversation go with Naim, his people? What does the future look like with him? And has that been a thorn or something you have to worry about every single day? And how's it going?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, listen, when you have a non-football injury, which is what it is, and you guys know the rules. Unfortunately, there's certain things you can't do. If you get hurt on those things, it can affect your salary. And so, yeah, we're still working through that. Naim's scheduled to have surgery here soon. Feel bad for him. He's a great young man. We were excited to get him last year in the trade, and he had. You remember the game after Demar got hurt? He takes the 2 kickoffs back, and this offseason, we had done a lot of things to incorporate him into the offense. He was obviously still going to be a dual threat as a returner, but Ken Dorsey was very disappointed, like we all were, to get that news here a couple of weeks ago. It's just like, geez, we hadn't even started and we're losing someone. So stinks for him, stinks for us, but we'll support him through that and hopefully get him rehabbing here soon once he has surgery.
Yeah, it's crazy because like that non-football injury thing is, we all know about it. Mm-hmm. Every player knows it, but it's not just like, now granted, you're going to be the one that has to make the decision and be the bad guy in the whole thing, and there's other people that are going to be in it, but like the whole league is like, let's watch what precedent we're setting here. You know what I mean? Like, let's watch this. It's a tough situation. Like, obviously, we're very sad for Naim Hines, but also for you, that is not a fun thing to have to deal with. And after the year that you guys had last year, and obviously don't make any excuses, but it was like, it's seemingly one thing after another. I guess that's why you get paid the big bucks. I'm fucking happy I'm not you. That's all I want to let you know. Good luck this season. We appreciate the hell out of you, man.
I appreciate you guys. Always love being on with you.
Hey, 79, 25,000.
All right.
Under 79, we're donating 50. Over 79, you're donating 25.
Yep, I'll let you know. I promise you. I'll have witnesses.
I was about to say, golfing alone. Dan Orlovsky.
Bingo.
Dan Orlovsky did false the math.
Yeah.
He pencil whipped you?
He pimp.
He did. He did pencil whip
he
it.
did.
For charity.
Ridiculous.
Unbelievable. For charity.
Shocker.
That's
unbelievable.
mojo to do that for charity.
I agree. We don't need any of that. Not in our world, not in your world. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Bain. All right, good luck to him.
Yeah.
Hey, he's
I'll
donate.
Good.
He's going to shoot a 73 or 72.
Yeah. He just played there, last Saturday?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He knows exactly what he's going to get.
Yes.
Well, it's good. We're donating.
Yeah, for sure.
We're donating. Yeah. I did hear about those buffaloes being small, though.
Oh, yeah.
That was a real thing.
Loud conversation.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Are they going to be there? Do you think they'll even be there when the stadium is built?
Well, what they put it in the fucking thing for if they're not?
Because no one's going to remember 4 years from now.
You don't remember the Buffaloes?
Buffalonians. Yeah, I'm thinking they'll remember.
Look at how big this fucking thing is.
If they put 3 giant, I guess,
that's really good quality
statues of those big ass buffalo, I will be impressed. It'd be awesome if you get on top and take pictures too, like you're riding them.
All right, this human's about 1 pencil big.
Yep.
Wow.
All right, so let's go. That's probably like 5, 7, 8.
Yep.
Let's go up to yonder. It's like 10, 14, 11, 2. Yeah, just like a
3.5 pencils.
Yeah, 3 stories.
Just get this thing about 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
What's the
should
big
be.
deal?
And they need to. I don't want.
And how many?
They need fur. Okay. They need fur. They need to be like museum
Yeah, it's
buffalo.
cool.
Yeah, like a mammoth.
Just 20 by 20. What
Yeah.
do we even?
We need to.
Or
we
just
need
do
to-
one. Do one that's
Are we trying to
30
win a
by
Super
30.
Bowl or not?
Yeah.
One
question.
gigantic one that's the size of the stadium, but it's right next to it outside.
No,
Oh, so you're
60
saying,
feet tall.
you're saying one that's just the size of all of these.
Because you've seen a
Yeah.
buffalo alone before. Okay.
Because you kind of see right now, if the quality of the photo is a little lower, this is kind of like a centipede operation.
Yeah.
Where the buffalo roam together.
Oh, no, it is. Someone was having some fun with that, weren't they?
No, AJ.
Jeez.
No,
You
AJ.
said like the human centipede, the buffalo were lined up like that, right?
No, I wasn't talking how you were talking.
Look where their heads are right by their old caboose.
No,
they're right there.
read the fine print.
They're running close to each
It's
other.
the angle.
Can you call Bean back, actually? Can you please call Bean back? Can you please call Bean back? We need to talk about
Hey, what's the deal here? Someone trying to have some fun with this?
What's with the shenanigans?
A giant one.
Come on. Thought we're a professional operation.
Hey, we're calling the PR guy. I guess it wasn't Bean's actual number. Let's see what they answer. Imagine just got walking through. What?
We need him back.
I mean, he
now.
should have the answers too.
Yeah, actually put him
That's
on.
the PR guy.
Tell him we
Yeah, PR guy should know.
Yeah.
PR
Who
guy
made
needs
this?
him.
Who
Who
did
made-
this rendering?
It looks awesome.
What are you talking about? Some company that got paid probably hundreds of
It's
thousands
amazing.
of dollars. Some architect put this thing together. It is
That's
going
a
to
little
look
Easter
awesome.
egg.
Yeah. Is it sponsored or are they just calling it Buffalo Bill Stadium?
Not yet. It will be. I'm
Sure,
sure.
it will be.
Because Buffalo Bill Stadium is sweet.
I was actually going to wish him happy birthday. His birthday was the other day.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I was going to. I was going to ask him about what this.
Yeah. Somebody having fun with the rendering.
Yeah, they're professional, pal. Jeez Louise. All right, let's get to a break, shall we?
Sure.
You mentioned it, not me. I didn't even notice.
I was talking about the bug. That's not it. No. You were talking about the South Park episode.
Yep.
You said centipede. No, I'm talking about the movie. Show.
Oh, the Human
Good movie.
Centipede movie.
I think I've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen the South Park situation.
There's a surgeon, and he basically puts people together,
Ass them out.
heads and assholes.
Yep.
And
Sews
then
them together.
There's a front and a back, like a centipede.
South Park just took it to the next level. They had
Like
Cartman
50
eat a
people.
bunch of sushi, and then he was pooping into the person's mouth behind
But
him.
that was
It
actually a real movie with real people.
It was.
A couple of them, yeah, a couple sequels too.
Yeah, two, three actually.
Human Centipede was a movie.
It's art. You wouldn't get it. It's art.
All right. So be it.
I don't
How'd
think
they
I
breathe?
truly get it either, but yeah.
Through the front
and
person.
person in front of them.
They inhale as you exhale.
So like in this newest Avatar, old Cuz swims in the mouth of Cuz.
Yep.
And then he attaches his thing to the thing.
In the whale.
Is that what they were doing in the thing?
Something similar.
Is that how they were
Yeah.
able to breathe?
Well, I think you can still breathe out of your nose.
When you're in somebody's
No,
butthole?
I think your mouth is just like sewn onto someone's butthole, and then I think you can
Yeah.
still breathe.
That's what it was?
There's gotta be.
Yeah, it's not airtight though. Like you could still breathe out your nose, probably.
Yeah, you're still alive.
That's a disgusting movie.
Hold
Who
up.
made that? Why is that person still
real
walking
guy.
these streets?
Real guy
so.
did it.
That's like the Saw person. We need to keep an eye on that person.
They got a new one coming out, actually.
Saw 10.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking of that stuff. What's going on? Who's,
Good question.
Is everything okay?
Take
Definitely
tons of
not.
pictures.
I saw. That's like the only horror film I've really gotten into or watched.
The first one?
Yeah.
So good.
I'd like to play a game. And then as soon as you leave there, you're like, all right, well, I'm scared to fucking death, I guess. This is the only scary movie I'm going to ever watch. And then a couple days pass. You may take some vitamins. You're like, who thought of all that? Who's the person? What's wrong with them?
Yeah,
oh, they got Saw
exactly.
16 coming out.
Yeah.
This guy just never had a never-ending supply of ways to kill people and torture people. Let's keep a fucking eye on that guy.
First one, I believe, is from a college psychology class where, like, college kids came up with the idea, and then it was bought, and they made the movie based on what they kind of did in that class.
AJ, you would have abused being a jail officer in that college
Stanford
experiment.
prison experiment.
No, that's not me. I'm not into that. I was talking to somebody the other night about that. I was never the guy that went, I can't wait till I'm a vet so I can haze these young guys. I never wanted anything to do with
Yeah,
it.
but
okay.
7 days, 14 days in, you wearing that badge, you get a little power hungry.
Oh, yeah.
You get a little, I'd be over there.
It's possible. I watched it.
Swinging that stick.
I'd be in the prisoner suit, and I'd be like, "You're a toxic piece of shit." And you, what's that?
Boom.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Going to solitary.
That's what you would do. I think you would.
Yeah, put your hands up. I'd have you put your hands up on the bar and I'd blast you with my baton.
Thank God it's in Con. I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
Whoa.
AAA there.
Yeah. Front of his hands.
See, look at you guys. You're so toxic. I never would have thought anything like that.
Let's get to a break. We were just talking about a movie that you brought up that is disgusting.
No one's doing anything like that.
Somebody thought of the movie, so I'm sure there's others that are thinking of things
Absolutely.
like that.
I could help. It's fun being creative on things like that.
So you're a part of the problem. So you're
Oh, so you could do
okay.
it.
So you're one of the guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like we've been
You
saying.
gotta think outside the box sometimes. You can't just sit in your little bubble.
I do. That is what I do. No, I'm known for doing that. Just staying in my bubble. It's pretty sweet. It's a pretty cool little spot. And then I hear about things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I often wonder. I'm like, you know what? One day I'll dive into the world of these people who are dreaming and fantasizing about sewing lips to buttholes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so much so that they're making movies of doing this.
Yeah.
3 of them.
So that they can see people actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
It freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's good art, though. Hey, thanks for doing it.
That's right. Movies.
They probably won an award. They win an award?
No.
Maybe a
Razzie,
one
maybe?
that LeBron won for worst movie.
Yeah, it was a Razzie.
What was that?
Space Jam was
Space Jam.
not that bad.
Well, it
especially
won
in
the award.
comparison to his school.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
What?
They're promising, but I don't know what they're promising, those kids.
Not math.
Yeah.
They're certainly experiencing a much better life than they would.
Absolutely.
For
Okay,
sure.
so we need to make sure that is understood.
Right.
Dirtbags.
But boy, oh boy.
I mean, the kids aren't pissed. It's the school district that's saying, hey, we're giving you all this fucking funding, and these goddamn kids haven't passed a test in 3 years, okay? So what are you promising?
Well, you know, COVID changed schooling.
Yeah, it did. It
You know what I
did.
mean? COVID changed schooling. But it is alarming. When I saw that was the most recent update about all those schools in Akron.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like a great idea.
Yeah.
I love it. You're relying on a lot of people, though, to execute that, right?
Mhm.
Like a lot of people to execute that.
Yeah.
They're going to have to change those people out, I think.
I think they can. They're reading well.
Yeah, we only learned about math.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Wait till you see the fucking chemistry scores.
Okay.
Through the roof.
Exactly. So you know, maybe point the fingers elsewhere.
So the math teachers there are terrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sue them.
Yeah.
Okay, you should see them read,
Right.
speak,
What?
ball,
What?
and significant figures in chemistry.
Exactly.
So good at sig figs.
So many sig figs out there. You don't even know what that is, AJ.
I do not.
Oh, what an embarrassment.
Explain it to me. Can you explain it to me?
Oh, that would be one I don't think I'd be able to pull out. I do know it's the amount of numbers in something being equal to something else in a chemistry equation. I think. Significant figures.
Like
Believe you're on
numbers
the right
next.
track.
I believe I'm on there.
If you're talking Pythagorean, I could get you through that one.
Oh, yeah, A and B, man, that's C there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A squared.
Just like every square is a rectangle,
Boom. That's right.
but no rectangle is a square.
Bingo.
Think about that. See if you can pass the fucking test. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5.
In an abandoned warehouse, Arthur Isaac Fischel, the world's AI authority, has summoned the Earth's most influential doofuses for an emergency meeting about the terrifying powers of artificial intelligence. Antonio Margherita, influencer from Italy. Vladimir Borobashnakowski. Chad Speed. Jim. We catch up with them mid-dinner as Artie Fish tries his damnedest to get the influencer's attention.
Yes, that'll work. Thank you. Scram. Let's get down to brass tacks, boys. The real reason we're here. AI is it's a problem. It's gonna kill us all.
It's hard to take you serious with the way your face looks right now.
I mean, you look like a fucking asshole. What are you talking about?
Oh, the only thing artificial is those fucking balls you call balls.
You look absolutely absurd.
You guys don't understand. You're not listening to me, okay? I'm wearing this because AI can hear your thoughts. It can get into your brain, guys.
You ain't got no fucking brain.
Once again, struggling to take anything you say serious. My team told me I should come to this. You look like he looks like a joke.
Like an absolute jerk off.
Does this look like a joke? Huh? That's a nuclear bomb.
Nah, that's fake.
Just fucking bad man puts marbles in plastic
You need a boom my friend. You guys aren't listening. This right here, AI gave to me a nuclear freaking bomb. Told me the only way to save this screwed up world is to blow it up. This guy awake? Idiot.
Wake up, asshole.
You wouldn't hit somebody with a
No, yeah, fuck.
No, don't you worry. This one is foolproof.
I doubt it.
I brought it here, boys. Not just for show.
What?
But because I'm gonna blow up the world right now!
Holy shit! That's Jack Carr!
Turns out, that was an actual nuclear bomb. Arthur Isaac Fischel was going to blow the entire world up, and Jack Carr saved us all. It was his actual first shot. And Artie Fish is actually dead. Forever. Thank the Lord that Jack Carr sensed trouble. His new book, which is the 6th installment of the Terminalist series, Only the Dead, is currently available at all bookstores. You should buy it. As you just watched, he saved the world. Hell yeah, Jack Carr. Hell yeah.
Pat McAfee sell on your stunner at WrestleMania. Where does that rank all time? That's got to be pretty up there.
Man, top three. And I got to say top three because The Rock, number one, the way he oversold, and Scott Hall and some of the other guys that took it. But I mean, Pat has a natural feel for the business, epic performer, great on the stick.
I apologize that you're a punk bitch.
Athletically, that match he had with Theory was awesome. And then the kicker was not only the sell of the stunner, but to lay there selling, still guzzling the beer, the presence of mind to ad lib and improvise it like this is a moment without even thinking about it. I think he's amazing. He's very entertaining. And as a human being, I like him a whole lot. And here's an off-the-record story. The second night that we were at Mania, I was just planning on drinking whiskey with my Broken Skull Sessions crew. And so we had a bottle all lined up, and we were just going to drink during the show and show respect to the people that were working. Well, Vince called me into his room and said, "Hey, man, would you come out in the end, stun me, McAfee, and Theory?" And I said, "Sure." So I couldn't drink until after the show. Okay, so the show happens. I go out there, stun all those cats. Brock Lesnar gets done with his match, the main event with Roman Reigns. And me and Brock have been wanting to bond together and have a few cocktails to begin with. And he goes, "Hey, man, you got anything?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Where are we meeting?" He goes, "My locker room." So it was myself, Brock Lesnar, Larry, one of the trainers who's been there forever, Larry, and Pat McAfee.
What a day, what a dream, what a life. Now I'm gonna have a couple more Steve Weisers. What? Maybe a little whiskey. What?
And we took down a fifth. We just passed the bottle around. At first we were drinking out of little cups. Then it just turned into the bottle. And we took down a fifth of Maker's Mark in about an hour. And then we all went our separate ways. And I heard through the grapevine that a couple of those guys woke up with severe headaches.
Really, and I don't want to undersell this, really hungover. You know what I mean?
From what you had inside the ring that we saw on camera, and then what was there a thing afterwards?
Well, there might have been, yeah, a lot afterwards.
But it was a bonding moment, after a big show like that of four guys, and I just barely met Pat, but he was already one of the boys because of his football background and how everybody, in WWE has taken to him. And me and Brock's relationship goes back a long way, as does Larry. So it was a good time, and that was one of my highlights of WrestleMania, a behind-the-scenes moment that I shared with you.
He's the new head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Yep. Obviously, one of the magic minds behind the Philadelphia Eagles' incredible run and offense last year, Coach Shane Steichen.
Yeah!
Coach, how are you, pal?
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Now that you're getting a chance to kind of shape a team for the first time in your complete vision, is there a way you're asking questions of people? Is there something you're looking for a player?
I mean, I just want guys that love ball, guys that are just football guys. I mean, those guys that are really love the game of football, you know, those are the guys that have a lot of success in this league. And high character guys, the guys that I've been around, been fortunate enough to been around. One, they're really talented players, but really good people and do it the right way. Those guys that stick around for 10 plus years, they all kind of have that trait in common. If we can find that as coaches and as scouts and get those guys in our building, I think you got a chance to have a really good team.
You love ball, normally do more work because you're enjoying it. If you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. Well, that also accounts for like extra reps, extra jugs machine, extra recovery, extra rehab. It's like that one thing helps out so much other shit if they love the game.
Yeah, there's no question. I will say that's one of the questions I do ask all these players. I want to know their weekly process. I want to know these college guys, their Sunday, they play on a Saturday. I want to know their Sunday through Friday, what they do to prepare to get ready. From every detail, when they come in the building, when they leave, how they watch tape, how they break it down, when they work out.
You can tell from that answer, I think, quickly, right, whether or not they love what they're doing.
Some guys are a little more detailed than others. Is it the end-all, be-all to what I think about a guy? No, I think it plays a part into how much they love football.
Guys that play a long time all watch film. That's what I've learned.
When I got hired, you know, guys heard me say this, my philosophy is, you know, we're going to throw to score points and run to win. That's part of it, but again, the flow of the game is going to dictate that. You could still be explosive running the football. You can create those explosive plays. The flow of the game will dictate how the game is called and how we're playing.
Throw to score points, run to win. You got bars, bro. What has it been like knowing that this is your first year going into a draft, and there's a lot that is kind of on the line at the most crucial position on the entire team?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of conversations. They're still ongoing. You know, we're 6 days away from this thing, and, you know, people always ask, like, who you guys taking? Well, we'll find out when the draft comes. You know, there's going to be a lot of moving parts that happen in that draft, but we're just trying to find the best players that are going to give us the best chance to win. That's it. People say, what type of quarterback you want? I want the guy that's going to give us the best chance to win.
How do you find that out? Is it workouts? Is it questions? What about this S2 thing? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. I've heard a lot about different tests, different things. You know, we take everything into account. Not tests, but obviously who the person is, what he's like, personality, his traits, how he is around the building with his players. And obviously the tape speaks for itself, you know, on a lot of these guys. And a lot of these guys have talent that they can play really good football. So it'll be interesting come Thursday.
Let's go.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. Hour 3 of this program starts right now. Football!
Come on.
Interesting.
You guys know I'm on a slight delay here. I don't want to mess that up for you.
Figured out.
And I was not here on the pre-show meeting to know we're going back to football when it comes to our rejoining.
Well, I would like to have you know that we actually had to restart the show today because the boys didn't have their pre-show meeting apparently, and we're not on the same page. 3 guys said football. 1 guy who wears a cowboy hat said sports.
No.
And then we had to start all the way back
No,
from the top.
Because what we were talking about right before we went live. It's not our fault. Our brains were in a different place.
What happened?
I'll take the blame.
Orshowski.
It was me.
The Talks Table was here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor, and at Boston Connor's Molly.
What did they do?
You were in. You were actually good. It wasn't it you? No. Oh, it was Pack?
Yeah, but it was a quiet defense. We needed to relay.
Yeah, and I almost was going to say something right before.
Oh, my God. You guys,
Pack,
what is the problem?
Yeah.
What is it? This is just like when Connor forgot the golf bags. Whose fault is it?
Well,
AJ's. Whose fault is it? Nick's. Whose fault is it? Ty's. How do you let this man on the plane without fucking golf bags? Okay, it's not just Connor's fault. Yeah. Look at that ball. You think he can get everything right? No way. The gods have blessed him with that particular bucket. Yeah. You guys should have been looking out for him. I did not know. You left my guy on an island right here.
Yeah.
Racist! I had no idea.
No.
That is what you. Oh, welcome back.
Definitely a race thing. Yeah, it's a race.
It is definitely a race thing.
It had nothing to do with Pac-Man being black. Okay.
Hey, Zito, did they talk to you before the show?
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
You see?
Zito,
You see, Connor?
Zito never joins in either. We can't start saying the back room saying it too now.
Well, he says it on muted mic. I see their mask kind of. mimic it. But I will let you know, Pac-Man, I don't like that at all. There will be a post-show meeting that'll kind of get this all in order.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to be on your own island. We need you out here. You're man-to-man all by yourself out there, okay? We need you to lock it down, hold it down. The rest of the boys need to be appreciative of that.
Appreciate
That's
that.
fucked up. 14-year NFL vet Adam Pac-Man Jones.
That's on us.
That's one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, Tone Diggs. I like that. That's good leadership there. Blaming yourself.
Yeah.
2 hours
Football.
after it happened, but
Football season.
I do love that. And
Time to be
that
a
is
leader.
AJ Hawk, a man who has never, ever put his hand in for a team on me, team on 3, 1, 2, 3, team.
Not once.
That's false. That's false. It's documented. You know that.
No, and when Wiz Khalifa said, "Put your hands up," you actually you took them and put them the other direction. while that
Trying
was
to
happening.
hold my hands down.
Pull that picture
too.
up.
No, you flicked
Pull
them
that
off.
picture up, fellas. Pull the picture up. My hands are higher than everybody's.
That's not true.
I don't know why you say this.
Because we have the picture, but you guys deleted that thing from
It doesn't exist.
We have
I think
that
Sam
picture, but you guys deleted it. Okay. All right. Yeah, you're speaking English.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're saying makes
We
sense.
did have it. The picture was here, and all of a sudden, you guys see it, and you saw the proof, and you said, "Oh, okay, we're gonna make this disappear as fast as we can."
Oh, you said it didn't fit our narrative, so we said that needs to go? What do you think, we're old
Precisely.
Twitter? You think we're old
No,
Twitter?
we're not.
What do you think? We are not, okay? We are now all in on. How do we feel about the X?
Throw the X up.
How do we throw about it?
Throw the X up.
Huh?
What does that mean? What does it mean?
It means X.
It means X, dude. Whenever you have a variable that needs to change, it's X. And the change could be anything. That's what this app is going to be. X is going to be a social media platform. Oh, okay.
What?
It's going to be a crypto arena. It's
Right.
going to be a video home. It's going to
Right.
be a shopping place. It's going
Right.
to be a banking place.
Yep.
It's all going to be the same because the X can change. You know, the X is this, the X is this, the X is this, the X is that.
AJ's problem is every time he tries to go to X now, he auto-populates to xvideos.com, and it just keeps going there. And
Is that a Big Wet Butts reference?
We have
We know you know.
We have a little bit of an issue popping off with Lombo right now.
Oh, no.
That is happening in my ear. I just want to let everybody know that in ears is probably what this guy's been looking at whenever he goes to the X app or whatever. How about him going down on his phone, search, and just putting X in there to find the app, and then what's popping up on AJ's
Oh no, Twitter shows up. You can still type up Twitter; it'll pop up.
Not for long, buddy. That thing, Twitter and X were battling on my phone.
Yep.
For a while.
Big time.
Yeah.
You know, is the blue with the X underneath it. And then all of a sudden, I think Twitter came back for a couple moments. And then if you open the app, they had Twitter and Twitter blue and tweet and everything. They changed that today. Now it's just the word post.
Yeah, post and repost.
Is that not the most boring fucking answer we could have had?
Can't have it.
A post?
yeah,
Would I get a name for anyone?
It's ridiculous.
could have at least been a Zoast.
Bingo.
That'd be cool.
That would have been great.
Or an X post.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
It's a little creativity. A post.
Put an X on it.
Repost.
I don't like it.
Neither do I.
Because you post on IG.
But the X is pretty cool, though. I mean,
X is sweet.
it's
I like the
pretty
logo.
cool.
It's
sleek.
Marks the spot.
It is a pretty cool X. I don't like that they're getting rid of the light version of it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that, AJ?
Light mode.
I did not. What do you mean?
Yeah, all the psychopaths that use the dark mode that just like to live in a dark screen their entire lives.
Yeah, I don't like doing that.
Me neither.
No.
I'm okay with using. Now, we are in the minority, though. I want to let you know. Like right now, there's going to be people that are, standard, but there's going to be people that are going to attack me right now for not understanding night mode. I don't understand it. It was a completely different app. Like Twitter is obviously the lighter version. That is what Twitter was. And then to have it be pitch black and it saves your eyes, it's like, okay.
Yeah, but you can take the brightness down if you need to.
Yep.
Like you don't need to
Exactly.
change it everything to all black and feel like it's
Just don't be a
2 in
baby.
the morning. Well,
yeah.
I mean, just turn it
certainly.
off. If your eyes are hurting because you're looking at Twitter too much, maybe you should just shut it down for a little bit, bud.
There's some people that love it.
I love it. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
love
only
it, but if
just
your eyes
Twitter.
are hurting, turn it off instead of going dark mode.
So it's not because your eyes are hurting why you went dark mode. You just like how it's sleek. and
I
clean.
just like the look of it, yeah. And it's like you can do dark mode for multiple different apps. So once you, like my notes section, for instance, that is also in
You're writing on a
Dark
black
mode?
tablet?
piece of paper.
Black?
What
yeah,
do we-
white letters, yeah.
You using chalk in there? What are
Yeah,
we
basically, yeah, basically.
You're
chalk.
writing on cement.
Yeah, exactly. I sorry, sue me. I like to be a kid.
That is a childish decision.
You're right.
Now that we talk about
Totally
it.
I
agree.
enjoy it.
But allegedly, we won't have the decision anymore. Allegedly, it's not even going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe
What
they'll let
time
us-
it kick on tonight, Mo?
What's that?
What time does it kick on like that?
Oh, always.
I don't know. It's allegedly about to happen. Who knows?
Oh, the whole time.
Yeah, the whole, it's going to be. That's
Yeah.
what the app is.
Yep.
It's going to be that. Joining us now is a man who might have more answers. seemingly has the answers to everything. The guy has had every single job in football, every single job in sports media,
What?
and every single job in writing.
What?
Absolute weapon of a human, an ATV, all-terrain Paisano.
Yeah.
Michael Lombardi.
Thank you, Pat. I have no answer. I have no answer for that question you just asked me. I have no idea. But I would like to say before we start, I was impressed with Pac-Man's 40. That was pretty special.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
That was impressive. I mean, I've seen a lot of 40s in my day, some good, some bad, but that was really good.
Hey, you're scouting. This is what Lombo does. I got a chance to chat with him during the break a little bit, and he mentioned an internet like golf group that
Bob Does Sports.
Bob Does Sports. He mentioned it, and he said, "Hey, have you seen these guys? They're awesome," is what Lombo said, and then he gave me a scouting report. Like he literally was like, they got this, they kind of lack this every once in a while, and they have a tendency to do this, but they also got this. I think this is going to happen for them. And I'm like, damn, like you're breaking things down like from a scouting department brain at all times. And you said, yeah, that's how I think or whatever. So I couldn't even fathom you watching him at the age of 40 run a 4.51 and just start piecing things together on what his body does, what other people don't.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic thing to think about with your brain.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of how I was trained. So you always think strengths, weaknesses, what can you do better? How can you make it better? You know, and watching him run at his age, that was impressive. I mean, T.O. did the same thing. I mean, there's some guys that I think people confuse the 40 time for a drill that just explains speed, right? But it's really a conditioning too. You know, I'm sure Pac-Man will agree. You got to be in good shape to run a good 40. You just can't go out and just not be in good shape. You've got to be a well-conditioned athlete.
He pulled his hammy.
Yeah, for the record.
He did.
Yeah, I did.
Twice. Ran 2 40s.
Yep.
Pulled 2 hammies. So
Yeah.
I think that's what you're talking about, too, because a lot of guys pull their hammies on 40s. To your point, it's like, well, that probably says something a little bit bigger about the whole story and everything like that. I guess whenever you're trying to piece together an NFL football team, you have to look at everything. Let's talk about that. You've been in positions that Bean, who was on our show before, and 31 other guys are currently sitting in during this training camp. What are these first couple of days about, and what have you learned from following along with 32 NFL teams that has kind of surprised you thus far in training camp, Mike?
Well, I think you can't overjudge this, right? I think these kids are learning how to practice. That's the most important thing. How to practice without getting hurt. You know, during the regular season, when you go out to Wednesday or Thursday's practice, you never worry about injury. But at training camp, all you worry about is injury. And I think partly is because there's not enough time spent on how to practice and how to stay off the ground and how to not be, going 1,000 miles an hour against your teammate as just doing the technique the right way. So I think that's really important. And, you just don't want to overreact this time of the year. I think when you learn what to do, you play faster, right? When you are confident in what you're doing, you'll play way faster. And sometimes players are just not confident in what they're doing, so they play slower right now. And I think it's too premature. I think the one thing all 31 teams need to do is this. I think there's 5 or 6 guys on every team, all 32 teams, that right now are not ready to play. But by November and December, they need to be ready to play. They need to make an impact on their team. And it's the job of the coaches to get them ready to fill that role. That's the one thing Walsh was so good at. We drafted Charles Haley in '86. He told Bill McPherson, he said, look, Bill, I don't want to teach him the playbook. I don't care about him learning the George Seifert defense. I want him to rush, and I want him to be able to be a great rusher. So all the time is spent. And that always stayed in my mind. And there's 2 or 3 guys every year that you better get ready to help your team win in December that aren't ready right now.
Well, Bill McPherson, too, that guy.
Oh, man.
You tell him to do something, he's going to get the job done.
Yeah.
So those guys are ready by November for sure. They didn't know the defense a lick, but they could certainly get to the passer, and that's what Bill did. Whenever Bill got his hands on a guy, he'd really make things happen. But I appreciate that insight because I never even thought of that, really. There's some guys that they have the talent to be NFL guys. Right now, though, they have no fucking clue what they're doing. They might not look great in training camp in some different reps, but we do need them for a specific assignment at some point. We're going to need them. Let's start getting them ready for that now, as opposed to waiting until week 6, week 7, when we're like, week 13, week 14, we're probably going to need a pass rusher if somebody goes down. Start right now. I didn't even think about that. That's like the chess shit. that you guys all have
Yeah,
to do that I would never be a GM because of.
Well, I think you have to look at their schedule too, right? And if you're New England, you're playing Buffalo twice. You got to be able to have guys that can cover. You got there's certain things you got to do. You haven't been able to beat Buffalo since the win game, so you got to prepare your team. And I think that's every team in the league. You know there's an obstacle that awaits you that you've got to get over, and you got to prepare your team for it. And you can't prepare your team the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before the season starts. You got to start that in training camp. So if you're playing Philadelphia this year with Jalen Hurts and the six-back offense, if you think you're going to get ready for them the week you play them, you're crazy. That's why they scored 204 points in the second quarter. People weren't used to them. They got too much speed. You got to get ready for them now, and so you got to practice that. That's part of training camp. That's what you're doing at training camp. You're getting your team ready for the season and ready for the opponent.
Are you listing off the points they scored? Like, I actually had this conversation with Steichen, right? I was like, hey, what's that? Just trying to learn about him as a human, how his brain works. I'm like, do you have a number in mind that your offense has to get to every single game? He's like, yes. Yeah, I do. And I was like, oh, okay. I just hit on something there. I think, I feel like I felt like, oh, all right, good start to a conversation. I feel like I'm going to learn some stuff here. Then he started breaking down, the Eagles last year were number 2. I think they averaged 29.4 points a game last year or whatever. Obviously, you're going to win a shit ton of games. You average 30, it's like historic elite level scoring. 28 is obviously a great goal for teams. 24, you're probably going to win a lot of games if your defense is doing its thing. But just trying to get to that number every game seems like the most basic form of trying to win. But that is seemingly a great strategy as well, Paisan, right?
Right, and you used the right word there, strategy. So one of the things the Eagles did, and then they go back to the Walsh theory. Everybody thinks the West Coast offense are these plays, right? Which is true. Bingo, cross, Hank, all these plays. But it's really more of a strategy. So what the Eagles did and what the Chiefs did and what has always happened over the course of Super Bowl champions, with the exception of a few times, is the teams that lead in first half point differential are the teams that win, that go to the Super Bowl. And the Eagles were number 1, the Chiefs were number 2. Having a 10-point lead at halftime is the most critical. So the West Coast offense philosophy is we're going to throw to get the lead, and then we're going to run to keep the lead. And so what you want to do at halftime is you're in a mad dash to lead the game at halftime. And that's why the Eagles were so hard to defend. They got this huge lead with their second quarter production, and now you're playing from behind. So, AJ, think about that. You're the linebacker. You're calling the defense. You're down 10 points in the third quarter. You make one bad call. You have blitz 0 that you don't hit, and now it's a 17-point game. The game's over.
Yeah.
So you cautiously play that. Whereas if you're up by 10 in the third quarter, you go after the quarterback, and maybe you get him, maybe you don't, but you're still in the lead. That mentality is what really is the game today, and that's what the Eagles and Chiefs do so well.
Yeah, so I should have asked a better question. Whenever he was talking about points, maybe he was thinking overall points definitely matter, you loser. But if he's like, first half, though, we need to have 17. We need to be at 17 points in the first half, and then we kind of go. And I love hearing that type of stuff because there's just so many levels to it all that my dumb ass could never really piece together. AJ obviously has something for you, Paisan.
Lombo, let's say you were you're Brandon Beane and you were the GM of the Buffalo Bills right now. We just had him on, and he didn't really say too much about it with Naim Hines' situation. He has the non-football injury, unfortunately, on a jet ski, and actually sounds like he got hit from somebody else. How do front offices tend to deal with these things when you technically don't have to pay them?
Well, I mean, you have to be classy about it. And, whatever you do for one, you got to do for all. You just can't, line item and just say, okay, this is what we're doing. And
does it matter how they got hurt, Lombo? Sorry,
it does matter how you got hurt.
If it was a motorcycle accident or something else?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be smart and you got to educate the players. Look, you got to make sure they understand that this NFI list is not good for them, right? Because we can control your salary. So, Hines is sitting there on a jet ski, which is not a good thing to be sitting on, especially when your livelihood is dependent upon your health, right? Because you get thrown from a jet ski. So I think this is what worries you the whole offseason, AJ, is the players doing something that they do in normal life, but they don't understand that they don't have a normal life right now. Until their career's over, it's not normal.
Yeah,
so they've got to protect their body.
That's the thing. You get to be in the NFL. Yeah. I think Naim Hines is not doing anything that anybody else isn't doing, being on a jet ski.
Yeah.
Right.
But damn, when catastrophe happens, that's a real feel. Like I told Bean, I'm very happy I'm not in your situation because it's not only he's got precedent now for his team, like other NFL teams are also watching this all take place. Like, hey, this is kind of something that we've negotiated here. This is a whole CBA. It's a big deal. I saw a lot of people saying, they better pay him his whole contract and everything like that. I assume Naim isn't even expecting that with the way it is, but like there is a way to handle it, I think, without, I think still being classy. Is that what you're saying as well?
Yeah, I think you got to be sympathetic to it, and you got to understand it because I mean you can't. The salary cap forces you to have a little bit of a harder edge, but because every dollar that you give him is coming off the cap, and when you don't have to give him a dollar, right? And so, but there is some human element here that has to take place, and you've got to be able to handle that. And I think it's really important that you do it the right way, and that you have a kind of a standard of operating procedure that it comes to this because, you're going to use this as an example. Every team is going to show Naim Hines' picture up on their first team meeting and say, here's what happened. You guys can't do this. You're professional athletes. You can't risk this in your life or else could cost you your career.
Yeah, that is normally, the MO, the modus operandi, which we knew that he's different everywhere. What will Bean do? He seems like he had empathy to the situation when he was talking to us. For sure. I guess his agent's like, I heard you talking about. Yeah. Speaking of agent.
Yeah, but your owner's got to get involved here too, right? So your owner's got to, he's got to sign off on it too, right? Because it's his coin that you're giving away. And right?
she just came back right from her, I think it's her first
game. She just came back. Yeah, she was back. It was a big day in Buffalo yesterday with Terry Pagula back and, from her tragic, I think she had a stroke. Her daughter saved her life, which was incredible. And then Hamlin walking on that field for the first time. I mean, that was a powerful time in Buffalo yesterday.
Just yesterday in Buffalo, obviously super powerful, positive way. But think about what they've gone through off the field. Like the Naim Hines thing being added to a list of like off-field stuff that they've had to kind of battle with is like wild to think. I think it makes your team stronger, though. I think it makes your team stronger.
It does.
Let's move to a topic that's very, very close to my heart here, Lombo. Mm-hmm. And we did change the background here. I know this is a place close to your heart. Obviously, this is Jersey Shore here. Is this familiar?
Love it.
Is this
that's Ocean City? Yeah, that's the Flanders Hotel right there. Absolutely. Right in front of that hotel. Every kid in Ocean City learned how to swim. We had a saltwater pool there. It was incredible. Yeah, that's Ocean City at its finest. It's the wettest, driest town in the world. You can't buy a drink here, but man, there's a lot of drinking going on here.
A lot of booze out there, glory days.
I love it.
Lombo, you had a good time out here.
We'll be singing that on August 18th. I'll be singing those glory days right there at Philly Stadium, right? Citizen Bank. He'll be coming back. That one-hit wonder will be coming back. Every time I saw pictures of Springsteen over in Europe with 100,000 people, I'm like, yeah, one-hit wonder. That idiot. Where is he on Twitter now?
So what happened, just so we can relive the story here, you're obviously a massive Bruce Springsteen fan. Not as big of a fan as Michael Cole of the WWE, who has been to like over 100 or 1,000 of Springsteen shows. Somebody tweeted that had some sort of notoriety that Springsteen only had one hit. He didn't understand why people mattered. And you've held this against this person. Yep. This is like 2-3 years now. Yeah. Who was this person, and have you ever met them?
I forget who the hell he was because why would I remember somebody so idiotic? Why would I spend time worrying about that? It just to me is like, when you go to YouTube and you see something powerful, there's 10,000 thumbs up and then there's still 200 people that put thumbs down. Like is there no making everybody happy? Like seriously, whatever happened to that?
Well, if the boss can't, nobody else can.
Yeah,
if the boss can, who can? Speaking of making people happy, the boss here isn't in Indianapolis because of how he's handling publicly the Jonathan Taylor situation. Wow, Jonathan Taylor's agent, who I don't necessarily understand the strategy behind his operations as well, but I assume he has some goal or strategy in mind to make this thing all happen. And allegedly there's interest growing around the league to trade for Jonathan Taylor, although Jim Irsay has publicly said, we ain't trade him now or October, brother. That ain't happening. So with Jonathan Taylor, his agent, Jim Irsay, feeling as if he is the voice of the NFL now, which is why I assume he put out that tweet about running backs and new CBAs and negotiations, and everybody said, oh, this is him taking a shot at Jonathan Jonathan Taylor, when I assumed Jim Irsay was just talking as a whole, but certainly involving Jonathan Taylor in that conversation. How do you feel this works out, and what are your thoughts on the point that we're at right now with this whole thing? Because he is the only person, I was at training camp, he's the only person that has not bought in. You know what I mean? New coach, new quarterback, new building, new everything pretty much, new vibes. Everybody's kind of all in. Anthony Richardson, it's hard not to. You watch him, you're like, all right, we got a fucking guy here who can do it.
Yeah.
He's the only one that is hoodie up, standoffish, not talking to anybody. It's not good. It's toxic. And if he's saying I'm not trading him, how do they get through this situation? How do you build a team with it happening? I don't know.
I think there's two. First of all, April 19th, he issued a statement saying he put a pen to paper. He's all in. He's a Colt. He understood what he did when he signed that contract. And then he changed agents. And now this agent has convinced him that this scorched earth mentality, this putting a kind of a face that looks like he's so unhappy that he's been treated so poorly, that it's going to get him somewhere. You got to understand in every negotiation who you're dealing with, right? You need a scouting report on everybody, right? It's like when Jesse Bates last year said, he's going to do whatever he could do. You're dealing with Mike Brown, just so you understand that, Jesse. Like, Mike Brown don't budge, okay? Well, now you're dealing with Jim Irsay, who's the crazy uncle at everybody's Thanksgiving table who kind of says whatever the hell he says, right? It's like, oh, that's Uncle Joe, that's Uncle Jim, whatever he does, right? You're dealing with this guy. And if you're negotiating against Irsay, you know that whatever he says, he's not going to change his mind. He's worried. He said it for a reason. So if you can't go directly, this tactic isn't going to work. Now, for me, if I were Chris Ballard, here's what I would do. I would tell Jonathan Taylor, your treatment's from 6 to 8. You come in the building at 6, you get treatment from 6 to 8, you go back home. We don't want you around the team. We just want you to get better. I don't want your attitude surfacing anywhere, because it's what we call the law of threes in leadership. There's 3 groups of people on every team. There's people in group 1 that'll do anything you want them to do. There's people in group 2 who are undecided. And then there's people in group 3 that you can't make happy. Taylor happens to be in group 3. He's the only player on the Colts in group 3. So what Steichen needs to do is focus strictly on people in group 1 and then just outcast the other guy and ignore him, because he's got his career. He's listening to an idiot. He's listening to his agent, right? And that's not a smart thing to do. There's smart agents and there's dumb agents, just like any profession. Wow. This tactic isn't smart, because let's face it, you're dealing with Uncle Jim. Uncle Jim Irsay ain't going to budge.
Yeah, so, I don't know the agent well enough. It seems like he's kind of new to, make there's some stuff coming up. Obviously, we're learning a lot about this guy quickly here. But he certainly has won Jonathan Taylor over, because to your point, April 19th, I'm all good. Still friends with everybody in the building. Still friendly with everybody in the building. And then all of a sudden, training camp, not talking to anybody. That's a wild thing to happen. So this guy got to be a great talker. So that's one part of doing business. I think just pissing off 1/32 of who you're going to have to do business with if you're going to be a football agent is certainly an interesting tactic. And maybe it'll work out in the end in this whole thing. But Shane Steichen's got to be just how am I supposed to fucking?
Yeah.
What are we? What am I?
I would tell Shane, just ignore it. Don't even worry about it. Look, here's the other thing. I think this agent, who's so experienced, he knows everything, right? Nobody wants to take on somebody else's problems. I'm shocked that this rumor comes out today. There's a lot of interest in trading for Jonathan Taylor. Okay, maybe that might be true. I doubt it, because who wants to give up a draft pick, then give up a ton of money, and then deal with a guy who looks like who's behaving poorly? Nobody wants somebody else's problem. Nobody just volunteers and says, I'll take all your problems over here. They got enough of their own. So,
he's a good player.
You got to put things in perspective.
Hey,
he's a great player.
He's a good player. Now, last year he was not. I will say. Last year.
But what Jim said is true. Look, this league has been around a long time. There's a lot of great players, and life goes on. Just like, if somebody, if he got injured, you got to move on. I get it. He's a great player, but he's not the last of the great players. And so you got to figure out a way to deal with it. If he's not happy, you can't affect your team. You got to make sure that your team is building itself together, because together is the only way we're going to win.
If I die tonight, Joe said, this league will be just fine. And everybody's talking about Jim's not speaking coherently during the whole thing. It's like Jim's just saying, I am one of the owners.
He's Uncle Jim.
I'm the longest
Uncle
owner
Jim.
in this league. Everybody that is an owner right now, I've voted on. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I've let you into my league, pretty much is what he's saying. And when I die, this league don't matter. They are going to move full speed ahead. I think that was actually a pretty perceptive view from Jim Irsay's mindset, but I still don't think he should have been the one talking about the running back negotiation situation publicly. Let some other owner do that, Jim. Have a little bit of situational awareness with what you got brewing in your own building, but I don't think that would have mattered if he puts that tweet out or not. I think Jonathan Taylor's strategy would have been the same way, seemingly, and I don't know if
you could call what he's doing a strategy. I think, to me, it's stupid. You're just not going to win this. You got to know your opponent, right? So Muhammad Ali watched tape on George Foreman before he got to fight him over in Zaire. And he basically came to the conclusion, look, this guy's fought 40 times. He's knocked out 37 people, right? He's bigger, stronger, tougher, meaner than I am, right? I have to do something completely different. So he roped the dope. And he said, if I can get him past the 8th round, I'm going to win the fight. He did. That's strategy. This isn't a strategy. We're just going to act so unhappy. That's not a strategy. That's stupid.
One of the greatest strategies of all time.
Genius.
Still talked about. People don't talk about boxing strategy on a regular basis. The rope dope still talked about. Simpson, Homer made an entire fucking episode about the whole thing. You're right. There is strategy and then there isn't strategy. In this particular one, I think acknowledging that Jim Irsay pays his people. That's something Jim does very rarely. Yep. Now, I think Florio cited an Edgerrin James situation where he went to Arizona.
Yeah.
And Edgerrin and Jim Irsay, very tight. Still to this day, they're very tight. So that might have been a time, I guess, when another team was like, all right, we'll take one and pay, and you won't. But every other situation of recent history, Jim is going to take care of, I would... he had 4 touchdowns last year. Yep. 0 receiving touchdowns. 11 games, missed 6 of them, 800. And this is the time to do the, after coming out and saying, I'll play. And then and we had a number 4 overall pick. Just optically, to your point, strategize-wise, you're losing the public, too. Colts fans love Jonathan Taylor. And then immediately, they're seeing it we were terrible. We were no fun to watch as a football team last year. You were bad at football last year. Very. Our team was bad at football. Now, circumstances with quarterbacks and everything, we understand. But to act now that is, I don't know, publicly it doesn't seem to be going great. Professionally, we will see, but I think there's a way to get out of this. I'm remaining optimistic. Let's go.
Good luck, boys.
Pac-Man has a question for you, Lombo.
Let's flip over to the other side and go to Dallas and talk about Jerry where Martin is holding out. He got 2 more years on his contract. We were sitting over here earlier, and Jerry have already came out and said what he said. Do you think a deal will get done there? I know he's getting fined $50,000 a day. And this CBA, they can't refer the money back to their contract. So that is real money. And guess who's getting the money? The Cowboys, not the NFL.
Right.
So do you think a deal get done there, or what do you think happened there?
I think Zach's making a mistake. Look, I think Chris Lindstrom's contract making $20 million a year pissed Zach off, right? He's at 14. Quentin Nelson's deal pissed Zach off. But what Jerry said is true. Micah Parsons is a unique player. It's very rare in today's NFL that you find a guy who can line up off the ball and rush as the 4th or 5th rusher and fit in the rush, and then line up a guy who lines up a defensive end and rush off the edge or run a game or run a stunt. He's going to get paid. Now, Nick Bosa is going to carry it because whatever they pay Nick Bosa, they're going to pay Micah. So it's going to kind of wash itself out. And Jerry's right. You can't pay everybody. He's got Dak over there making all this money. So this CBA was written. I'm old enough to remember the days.
Man,
these Dak lowlights, Lombo, that are getting out there right now.
I know. I saw them, but until they're, and sometimes you got to temper that. You don't know what's going on. But I will say this: when I first started in the league, holdouts were valuable. Players held out and accomplished a lot. There was no real way of getting nobody shared information. They didn't know the salaries. This CBA is built to not have holdouts. That's why we have more hold-ins than we have holdouts. So to just give away $50,000 is not a smart play. I think Zach's a great player, but when the owner comes out and says what he does, again, who are we negotiating with? We're negotiating with Jerry, and so we're going to have to figure this out.
No, that's just that's a wild thing because Jerry and Jim, they're big Our league's not going to become NBA.
Yeah.
Our league is our league.
That's the key point right there. That is what I think is the underlying. See, I think some of the NFL players think they can behave like NBA players, and they miss the point where these owners are not NBA owners, right? These 32 guys that sit in that room, that they sit in that room, they're a different than you think that the NFL, we only play 17 games, but you think they would let guys miss as many games or have D not play? No, of course not.
That would be awesome.
I think you got to understand it.
That would be awesome to watch that. Now, granted, I do believe if they add an 18th game, I think there will be some G games that older players maybe, if they're going through something, we will hold out of like week 13 game, week 14 game. We're like 2 weeks out. We're in a good spot. If they were to add another game, I think, like if you're a good team, I mean, if you're in the middle of a playoff hunt, fucking.
Yeah, you're playing.
You're playing.
Get your ass out.
But see, I think this game thing is wrong. I would take this approach. If I were in the players' union, I would say I would try to get, okay, we played 16 games, and Quentin Nelson played all 16 games for the Colts, and he played 1,050 plays. Okay, so 16 games, you play 1,050 plays. That's the most amount of plays he can play if we go to 17 games, if we go to 18 games. That's the most he can play. And it becomes the coaches have to develop players to fill in and manage that 1,050 plays. It's really about plays. It's not about games, right? It's about how many plays are you playing.
I would be pissed, though.
Feels like a lot.
I would be pissed if you told me, oh, now you can't play.
Week
I would
20.
be pissed.
No, I would say, Pac-Man, I would rotate you through. Wow. You got to rotate.
Yeah, but what about week 20? What if he's got
with
35 plays left?
Yeah.
He's got 35 plays.
And then they're going to be all they're going to be in the fourth quarter. We got to win a goddamn game. That's what they're going to do.
All right, I'm not 100% in on that one, but I do know that there's going to be definite more games at some point as the money tree continues to grow for the NFL. And I don't think they're going to be giving over power to anybody either. The NFL owners. You like it here?
No.
Are the ratings going up? Is the salary cap going up?
What?
Are you guys getting paid more money than you've ever been paid?
Yep.
Are people still loving our league more than everybody else? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. What do you want? What do you? And then we'll move on. Like they have the ability to say that right now because of how good things are going with the NFL. But I do hope this next CBA does have a little bit more player advantage at some point in some say of the game, but who knows if that's ever going to be possible. We have a couple questions for the boys, then we got to let you go. Lombo, back to that Jersey Shore. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Lombardi, friend of the show and someone that I've grown to love, Dan Orlovsky, kind of, threw something out this morning, and it wasn't that he...
You're just trying to piss me off, Connor. Here we go.
This is the one, actually, to piss you off.
Yes.
I think, which is why I'm so excited that Connor's doing this right now.
Yeah, and it is a real kind of idea. And Lombardi, I don't want you. He didn't say he didn't say Springsteen was a one-hit wonder. I don't think, at least. Maybe he has in the past. You should check that out. But he said this morning that, with where the NFL is right now, that there is a chance that, the 35, passing touchdowns a season isn't going to be enough to get it done in the MVP, voting, and that there are going to be a lot of different guys and quarterbacks that have those kind of stats, that now there's going to be a different factor, in the MVP award. And it's not just going to be strictly based off stats, but it also be part of an eye test. So he threw out there, Justin Fields, he's probably going to win, He's probably going to.
What's your problem, Lombo?
Yeah,
you're not even listening.
Yeah.
You're not even listening.
I'm listening.
Listen, Lombo. Dan Orlovsky's talking.
That Justin Fields in the eye test is one of, if not the most impressive guy in the entire NFL, and that if he were to throw 35 touchdown passes and, rush for another 10, 12, that he would be the runaway MVP. Do you think that Roger Goodell is going to call him today and say, you know what, that's genius, that's how we'll judge the MVP going forward? Or do you think that even the idea of a lot of guys in the NFL having that type of success is possible?
Well, it violates a code of code for me. Is the MVP is about winning. What player leads his team, who's most valuable to his team and helps his team win, right? What does that? Accumulating stats is wonderful. That's great, right? But I'm sure if you asked Warren Moon if he could trade all those stats that he accumulated for a title, he would say, I'd rather have the title. And so, 35 touchdowns, and I win the AFC, and I am the number one seed, and I have this season, yeah. But if you just want to measure players on individual ability, look, I don't know what game Dan's watched. I went back and watched all 5 games of Justin Fields at the end of the year. They're down 31-7 against Detroit, and they're still running the ball. Like they averaged 8 less passes than the Colts did last year per game, and they both were down. I mean, they averaged
DJ Moore
22 passes. Oh, I know he's got DJ Moore. Look, I think it's unfair to put this pressure on Justin Fields. I think let him get good first before we start talking about MVP. Like, it's hard for him to complete passes. Like, can we just go through it? Like when
Ohio State
bias.
This is he's burying Ohio State right now.
Greeny too. Greeny's going to be crushed.
Well, Greeny said there's a chance that he's the next superstar, and I think Greeny said it because of what Dan was saying, and then obviously the entire get-up became like,
yes,
they had me believe it. I'm like, hey, you know
Justin
what?
Fields.
I agree with that thing, but
I would love to watch a tape with them and explain to them what they're and watch it. Like, you tell me. I don't give a crap what the QBR says. Like, I'm watching the tape.
All right,
it's not happening.
We appreciate the hell out of you, and I can't wait to see what Justin Fields does. I mean, it's been a great conversation. It looks good.
I can't wait either. I just think we got to temper the conversation.
All right,
like,
well,
the guy's not going to go from 2,200 yards, 91 sacks, a zillion turnovers, and all of a sudden become the MVP of the league. That just don't happen. It just don't happen.
All right,
okay?
Lombo, thank you for the reality. We appreciate you. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's take like a 4-minute break because we have an absolute icon in the building.
Let's go.
While we were talking to Lombo, I look over here. Legend.
Yeah.
The guy.
And team. Got a good squad around him. Did not expect all parties, but I do see a nice group of humans over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excited to meet them and chat with them. We'll get him set up. I can't wait to talk to Tony Stewart.
Let's go.
And then guess what we're doing, AJ? Not live on the program. We do apologize. We don't have the capabilities for how big this particular track is. We don't have enough service. We didn't need that Starlink
Yep.
if we really wanted to be able to pull it off. But we will be filming it. We will then be racing against smoke.
What?
Right outside.
Awesome. Unbelievable.
What an honor. Take 4 minutes, okay? Get yourselves ready because a legend is joining us in the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Take 5.
Hi, how's it going? My name's Pat McAfee. Used to hold balls for Adam Vinatieri. Now I'm in his home state. College game day is absolutely electric. And Brookings,
College Game Day has made the voyage to Brookings, South Dakota to experience a game with the best fans in college football. I unfortunately cannot attend because I have a game this Sunday, so I sent a man I trust to make my picks. A man who was my holder for almost a decade. Please be nice to him. Welcome this week's celebrity guest picker, Pat McAfee.
Go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Hosting Auburn. Yes, everybody saw this. The best fake punt in the world. What do you think, Pat?
I absolutely loved it all the way up until execution time. That is not one we like to show in the brand headquarters and punting and kicking world.
Oh, dance off. Oh, let's get weird. Yes. Duck that, huh?
Bang! Right off the top of the dome. That makes it a lot easier when you got a dummy standing right in front of you like that.
Running. He's How did you get Daniel Russo?
Wax on, wax off, knee to the face.
World Series.
Go, yes.
These teams stink. With that 15, they celebrate by doing shotguns. And I'm a big fan of that. I'm going with the University of Virginia Cavaliers. That was great. Whoa! I will never, ever in the history of my life cut against that ball. Oklahoma State is the winner here. Not so fast again.
But I'm going with Trey.
Please excuse my dumb friend Kirk. Look at this crowd. They've been out here since 4 a.m. College game day comes to town. They lose their mind. The population of this state is about 800,000. And when the Jackrabbits take the field, they're alongside all 800,000 South Dakotans. The Dakota marker was in Fargo for far too long. Today, 5 o'clock local time, the Dakota marker is back in beautiful Brookings, South Dakota. Melvin and Terry School, they might be the Jackrabbits, but they're the GOATs today. Ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State with the win.
Give me that right there.
No, don't do that. No. Leave. Coach.
Has the
Pat says it'll be no.
I told you I came on your radio show that we were going to get you on College GameDay.
Not only are you incredibly intelligent and handsome, you're a man of your word. You picked North Dakota today, so I had to bury you.
That's okay.
But it's been nothing but incredible. The College GameDay crew is hospitable. In South Dakota State, I think we can all agree, they showed up here.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I've watched the show, obviously, forever. And it's on in every single NFL locker room. I told you that.
Yeah, it's cool.
So this is a big-time deal for me, my family, my friends.
All right, I'm back in the day here. Appreciate you, boys.
It's from the training room of the Colts. A.J. Watt tweeted.
It's very hard to process the human being on television.
I get texts from every human that I've ever done television with, like since way back in the day. They're like, we knew this day would come. Equipment managers, old teammates. I mean, you don't get to trend on Twitter often anymore. They make it damn near impossible. Go up onto a stage with a couple legends and talk some shit in front of the incredible South Dakota fans. What an awesome opportunity.
Why?
Let's go.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston College.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this glorious Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. A legend has joined us. Hour 3 of the Sports Program starts now.
Football!
That's right, we nailed it. Not football right now, though. We're talking racing. Right? That's AJ Hawk, obviously. The Toxic Table is here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor, and at Boston Connor's mullet that is flowing majestically on this fine Tuesday. Tone Diggs, one half of the Hammer. The Iron Cowboys is here with a great cowboy hat on. 14-year NFL vet and icon Pac-Man Jones is here. And joining us in studio.
What?
Live in the Thunderdome.
Hell yeah.
There's a man that was born and raised here in Indiana. He's something of an absolute hero here in Indiana. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, Indiana is the home of the Indianapolis 500, but it's also home to a lot of racing. Mm-hmm. So whenever these are little kids here, you know who your heroes are?
Who's that?
Fucking race car drivers.
Damn right.
Before Peyton Manning got here,
But
it was not a football town. No. It was a racing town and a basketball town. So a lot of young racers come up through Indiana. And one that came up through the Indiana racing system that went on to not only win the IndyCar Series.
What?
He's going to win the NASCAR Cup Series 3 times.
What?
And on August 30th, I do believe, in Brownsburg, Indiana, this motherfucker's going to be drag racing too. If it has an engine in it, he wants to race it. And he's not just going to race it, he's going to win it.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Smoke Stirrer. Did I accurately describe that, though, about Indiana? I'm from Pittsburgh, so when I came out here, it was a little bit of a culture shock. They love racing out here, and it is the thing that little kids do all the way up through. It is a career path, right?
That is a fact. You either were born with a steering wheel in your hand or a basketball in your hand in this state until Peyton Manning came around.
How's your jumper? Pretty good or no?
I'm terrible.
Oh, okay, but you, hey, steering wheel.
And Bird lives about 5 miles from me, down by Columbus. He's got his Eagle Ranch, and then I've got Hidden Hollow Ranch. We're pretty close.
Yeah, that Cabela's down there.
Is that? Hold on. You're talking about this.
Ooh, that's my place.
Yes. Yeah, we found out about this, I think, like a year ago. It went up for sale, I believe. And we said, or it hit the internet, maybe they were describing it. And we said, who the fuck lives in this place? They're like, Tony Smoke Stirrer.
That's right.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. There's like a fishing pond in the middle of this thing, right?
It's got a pond and a big tank inside.
Hey, you done good, man.
Wow. It's like a small Bass Pro.
Yeah, you've done good. You have done good with your life. You should be incredibly proud. Let's dive into the convo we just had right there. So you're the only guy, I believe, to have Cup Series championships in both IndyCar and in NASCAR. Congratulations, Grayson.
Let's go.
IndyCar, they're going 230.
Almost 230 now, yeah.
230 miles an hour. Different style of racing. NASCAR going 199.
Right.
About 200, right?
Yep.
So 2 different speeds. F1 going, what are they doing?
I think the fastest they go is like 190, 185, 190.
I want to let you know, just this is not even me taking a stand for like Indiana now that I'm an Indiana resident and everything like that. My wife and her family, massive IndyCar fans. That F1 thing, I don't understand how people like it.
It's a shame.
It is so fucking boring. Like it is. You probably can't say you don't want to start up. You're probably raced over there or going to go race over there. But I don't like that style of racing. I enjoy IndyCar. I enjoy NASCAR. But what you're about to do here in a few weeks in Indianapolis, and I think you have a couple cars in, this drag racing shit's the real deal. Obviously, we used to watch a show where pink slips were up for grabs. And Fast and Furious has this thing happen. But I used to live on the west side of Indianapolis in Brownsburg where this drag strip is. We got these fucking things going like 300. How fast are these things going?
Yeah, both the Top Fuel and funny cars run over 330.
Damn.
These dudes are strapping them, and lady, a lot of women drivers, a lot of lady drivers.
My wife drives this car.
What?
300 and what?
330.
330 miles, strapping themselves in, okay? Strapping themselves.
How many G's? How many G's is that?
6 G-forces positive when they leave, and then when they hit the chutes, it's negative 6.5 G's.
Jeez.
You got
My
12
God.
G-force swing.
So
when you
how
go
do we
from the
get?
gas to the
So I
chute.
know, like good old boys. I think if you go back to NASCAR beginnings, I think they're trying to soup it up for moonshine to kind of get the cars to outrun the cops and everything like that. But I feel like all these racing go-karts, even we got 4 of them outside. We're gonna fucking smoke.
Hell yeah.
Y'all get it out of your system now because I'm going to annihilate your asses. Just saying.
He ain't doing shit.
Yep. Yes, it will.
It's gonna take all of you to stop me. Just saying.
No, we're just trying not to get lapped. That's the goal. Is
the goal.
Goal is to try not to get lapped. I'm 255 too. I feel like I got quite a disadvantage, but I did tell them to just a little bit, and they can do that because I believe most of this racing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is literally just like good old boys that enjoy building engines. Like, how did we start getting to a point where we're strapping humans to race cars that are going 330 miles an hour? And how often is this happening? And like, I watched one in Ohio. There's one in Indianapolis. How many of these NHRA events are kind of taking place? And what all, this is terrible to ask, but like 330 miles an hour human, there's a lot that can go wrong. Is that how?
Very accurate.
Okay, good.
Very accurate. No, there's 22 national events across the country. I'm racing in Pennsylvania this weekend with the regional series, so there's 7 regions in the country. NHRA has 4 pro divisions. They have Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock, and Pro Stock Bike, and then all the other divisions are technically sportsman divisions. So I run the Top Alcohol Dragster class. Top Fuel and Funny Car only run 1,000 feet. So they're running 330 plus mile an hour in 1,000 feet. My class is the same style of car, different motor configuration, runs a full quarter mile and only runs 280 miles an hour.
Only, you're going.
Well, I say
you're
that
an
because
embarrassment.
Yeah, well, if you listen to the Q&As, there's women that go, well, what's it feel like that your wife drives faster than you?
Yeah, so your wife is a boss at 330 miles an hour. She's going faster than you've ever been, right?
True, but she can only do it for 3.5 seconds. I can do it for 3.5 hours. So, come on.
Nice. Yeah. Hell yeah. I've seen these internet ads. Got the algorithm doing its thing. So you would just race whatever? Did you grow up racing go-karts and then kind of come up through the whole process? And why did you make the jump from IndyCar to NASCAR when you did? And why are you in the NHRA now? Has this always been a hobby?
So I started in go-karts at 8. I raced for a local company in Greenfield, Indiana, Comet Kart Sales. Mark Dismore, who was my teammate in IndyCar the first
That's
year.
the carts that are outside right now.
Yeah.
Oh, ain't that convenient?
He might got us.
Yeah, he might do some shit. But you start in go-karts, right?
Yeah, graduated high school and started moving up. I ran a USAC, which is based down of the west side of Indianapolis and Speedway, the United States Auto Club, and ran sprint cars, midgets, Silver Crown cars, and then got an opportunity literally within a month of each other to drive for a NASCAR team and an IndyCar team. And luckily, the IndyCar series only had 5 races the first year. The stock car team was willing to let me do both. And then at the end of '96, Joe Gibbs hired me. I went 2 more years in NASCAR's Xfinity Series and then went to the Cup Series in '99.
And that's where all the money was at that time, right? NASCAR had a big jump. That was like the premier thing. Now, is it just kind of communicated about like, NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, all these different leagues, it's just like that's the like kind of what everybody's shooting for? Or is there like certain styles of driving that you knew you weren't going to be able to do?
Yeah, I think it's more, honestly, it depends on what you want to do. And you know, kids and parents are training their kids early. They get them down a path. You either want to go IndyCar racing or you want to go NASCAR racing or you want to go drag racing.
Oh, this is happening in racing. It's happening in sports too.
Yeah.
Where it's like specialty training and you don't really get to diversify of it all.
That's exactly right.
Kind of bullshit happening in sports. I assume it sounds like that in racing too.
It is, but you know, we got guys like Kyle Larson who come from the dirt track ranks and run sprint cars all the time, and he's awesome in Cup, but he comes back and he runs dirt late models and dirt sprint cars.
We need to keep him out of sim. You know, you need to keep him out of the sim there. But he is an incredible driver.
Yes.
Incredible. Have you always just been a better driver than everybody else? Like in go-karts, there was like a thing whenever you were in there?
I don't know. I learned I was too lazy to work a real job at a young age. So I figured I had to be good at something.
So are you more courageous? Got more like, why do you think you over other people when it comes to the driving game?
I don't know. I honestly don't have a good answer for that. I did my deal and I didn't worry about what everybody else did. We just did it our way. We stuck to our program. We always, even when we won, we always tried to figure out how could we have done it better. And I think that's what.
So you just
really,
love racing?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Fucking love racing.
Man, that number 20 Home Depot fucking flying around that track.
Ooh. Listen, Tony, you
Those
just
were
want
good days then.
6 to midnight right there.
Yeah.
You pooping in that suit?
No.
Peeing?
No. Occasionally you had to.
Gotta let it go.
It's not like they say, hey, there's a rest area a mile down the road. We're going to stop for 5 minutes. We'll be right back.
Yeah, that's not fun. My bladder's active too. I think that's why I probably wasn't a driver, if I had to guess. I'm 255. That's way too big to be a driver.
So my driver that drives this car is 255. He's
that's
a big
hurting
boy.
you guys, isn't it? Isn't that hurting you guys? Doesn't that hurt in racing?
Well, a little bit.
Hey, bud.
But he's good. He's won 3 world championships, so I'm going to say
maybe it helps. Maybe the momentum.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm at the advantage today in these go-karts.
John Force, a big boy, kind of in there?
He's not near as big as my guy is. My guy, like literally, you paint my guy green, he is the Incredible Hulk.
See, that's what I'm talking about, though. He's 255, right? Big guy.
He's a man.
But in racing, that is huge, right? Most people,
that's way big for a race car driver.
Most people kind of got to be born to be a driver, right?
You want to be small to be a good.
And you got to have huge gut sack, though. Like you got to death at every single corner. And when you started, they didn't even have the brain head helmet stability thing, right?
Nope, no head and neck restraints, no containment seats that came all the way around. It was a lot more simple and primitive back then. But I mean, the safety side of it, our sport, both in NHRA, IndyCar, NASCAR, has come a long way in the last 10 years.
I know AJ has like 1,000 questions for you. I just had to motor off mine. I'm so pumped to be chatting with you. What do you got, AJ?
Tony, I'm curious if there's anything you haven't raced yet, any kind of vehicle, a boat, maybe the Red Bull air racing situation that you haven't got into that you might in the future.
It's funny you bring that up because I got a chance to drive the funny car at IRP here about a month ago or a month and a half ago, and we were trying to figure out what cars have I. We started with what have I driven. Then we got frustrated and said it's going to be a lot easier just to try to find the list of cars I haven't.
Haven't raced that.
And it's not been very much. I mean. Southeast corner of Indianapolis has the speed room. They do the World Figure 8 Championships there.
The school buses, right? Isn't there a school bus race too?
Well, they do school buses as well, but they got tricked out late models that are Figure 8 cars that haul ass around there.
That's an accident, right? T-bone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it has
and
to
I broke
happen.
my back 4 times already. I'm like, maybe
signing up for the
maybe we
T-bone
skip
race.
that one. We might skip that one. And swamp buggies in Florida. That's the other division we haven't ran yet.
So what are you waiting on? What's the deal?
I don't know. I don't want to get upside down in a car and get stuck in it and I can't breathe. So that choking with water thing's not a good deal.
Yeah, but from what I just learned just from quick talking to you, I don't think you have that like, you know what I mean? Because you were racing back in the day before, because it was Earnhardt, right? I mean, that changed the entire scene of the whole thing. I watched that documentary. I think McGee did it.
He did, yeah.
Ryan McGee did the documentary. I watched that whole thing. You guys just kind of understood that this could happen at any given moment. And that was before there was even the, what's the barriers that aren't on the track?
Safer barriers, yeah.
On the
walls.
Styrofoam and fiber emergency something. I forget what it's called. Because they just raced in a place that didn't have it. And McGee was pissed. Remember?
Yeah.
He was so mad about it. Back in the day, you guys were just like daredevils pretty much.
Well, they did as much as they knew they could do at the time. But then after Dale Sr.'s accident, everybody really put a lot of focus on making sure, how do we keep this from happening again? And There were guys getting killed in race cars. I mean, it's always been that way.
Scary sport.
But
yeah.
every decade, the amount of guys that die in race cars keeps getting smaller and smaller, and the injuries are smaller and smaller. I mean, you still have big injuries. You still have guys getting paralyzed. You have guys that have brain trauma. But the amount of opportunities and the amount of times that happens keeps getting smaller and smaller, and the sport keeps getting safer and safer. And it's across the board. It's not just NASCAR, not just Indy cars, sprint cars, NHRA drag racing. Everybody put a full court press on how do they take the cars in their series and find a way to make it safer to keep these drivers from being hurt.
How old are you?
52.
So what? You look good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah,
Smoke
he
looks
does.
good.
Yeah.
Smoke looks
Still got it.
Smoke look good.
Yeah, smoke does look good right now. Good height. Hey, you've been utilizing, good lotioning and stuff.
Yep. Great hair.
Really, what does slow you down? Like, because old drivers are terrible. We all see them.
Yep.
On the road.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
We're all pushing for like a new driver's test at a certain age. I think like everybody who's on the road is pushing for that. For you can drive forever, or what would stop you from racing cars? You think?
I don't know. That's what I like about drag racing. My class runs a quarter mile in 5.2 seconds. So I can get semi-banged up the night before and be in good enough shape to run 5 seconds. Now, a 3-hour cup race, maybe not so much. But a 5-second race, the only thing you got to do is you got to do everything correctly. You got to do all the procedure right, the cadence of how you do the whole routine. But you better be ready when those lights turn on. You better be ready to go, because when that light changes, and you can win it or lose it on that tree. So.
Yeah, we're gonna need an IV this morning. Yeah. Last night's coming a little harder than it has in the past. Ty has a question for you, Smoke.
Smoke, back when you were running NASCAR, like, you were a household name. So if someone who wasn't really a fan of NASCAR, like, they knew who Tony Stewart was, they knew who Jeff Gordon was, and then Jimmy Johnson. It seems like nowadays that really isn't the case anymore. Do you think NASCAR in general is like deeper now? And do you think we'll ever get to a point again where we'll have multiple drivers where even if you're not a fan of the sport, like you have that celebrity status? Like, are we ever going to get back to that point with NASCAR, or is it kind of hurt by F1's explosion and how popular IndyCar is now?
And NHRA might pull off, dude. I didn't know you guys were going 330 fucking miles.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I honestly think it's because of how young everybody is in NASCAR. It's like when an 18-year-old kid is, when they're trying to drive in the truck series, they're 15 years old, they can run the short tracks. When your mom or dad has to drive you to the race shop, it's hard for people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. How do you rally around that? I mean, I sat there and tried to tell them, I'm like, when was the last time all of you went to a high school football game?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody raised their hand. I said, because nobody, unless your kid's playing, you don't go to a high school football game. So why are we putting 18-year-olds in these cars and expecting the fans to go, that's my guy? The kid just got his damn diploma.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have life experiences. He hasn't had to sleep in his car on the side of the road because he couldn't afford a hotel room in between 2 nights of racing. These kids don't have these experiences. So that's where I think we've hurt ourselves in the sport of trying to keep pushing these kids younger and younger and younger. We got 14, 12-year-old kids trying to drive sprint cars now. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, you got to earn, right? You got to earn.
Well, not only that, but think about the safety side of it. A 12-year-old kid, his body's not mature. His body's growing and developing. You take a hard hit then.
Those ones are dangerous too, right? Because I used to, here in Indiana, there's a lot of sprint car tracks everywhere, and obviously I lived actually 5 minutes from that thing. I don't know if you were doing it at the time, but y'all motherfuckers practice late night going into that thing. You know what I mean?
Some of us are trying to sleep. Like all the racers,
some of us are trying to sleep.
Fairly sanitary. These guys are not sanitary. These guys that drive these cars are nuts.
Yeah, well,
and they don't care about what time you're going to sleep.
Bingo, those things are. It is,
but it's only for 5 seconds.
Yeah, which is even worse.
Just roll over.
Yeah, well, then you're whoa, holy shit! Is what is going what's going on inside, and then you get going, and then something went wrong. Obviously, I can't win with it. You start judging these fuckers, and it's a whole thing. But it is a shot of adrenaline I couldn't even fathom. You chasing that for the rest of your life, you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Because I'll go like 80 on the street. I'm like,
that was awesome. Sweet.
Oh,
shit.
Hands going low. Driving, this is like such a
I drive my motorhome at 90.
Jesus.
So you are like one of those professional drivers that, because the standard answer that always happens in like radio shows whenever they talk about
no, I don't drive that fast. What's in your garage?
Yeah, there we go.
Honestly, I drive a Ford Raptor pickup truck. Everywhere.
Dog.
So awesome.
Everywhere.
What do you do? Just fucking go out there, fish on the back of the Ford Raptor?
Actually, I shot a deer off the hood of the Raptor this winter. So
just standing on it?
I mean, I am from southern Indiana. We do some pretty stupid shit down there.
Yeah, well, I've actually been down there. Yeah, I've done some dumb shit down there for sure. Had a good time, though.
Well, if you went down there, you had to do dumb shit because that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah, I was trying to get peer pressured in there, but I don't know if all of it is considered dumb. It's just a different way to have fun, I do believe. Yeah. And Smoke, we appreciate you stopping by. We got to get our race started outside. I cannot wait for that. Hey, if you rigged this thing, which it sounds like you did, because the guy you raced with in high school was the one who brought the carts here.
Yeah, messed up.
Well, we don't know that for sure. I just saw the logo on the side of whoever's trailer's out there.
I just saw the company's name. That's what you knew.
I didn't see anybody out there I knew, let's put it that way.
Oh!
We'll find out in a minute when we get outside.
So what would your advantage be, though? You just understand you'll be able to pick up this track quicker than we would be able to. Like, you're driving on the road.
Well, the first thing is I'm going to get an advantage on weight. So I'm 175 pounds, so I'm going to get a weight advantage. Second thing is I'm going to know how to apex the corners and how to open my entry up, how to make the corner as big as I can to carry the most speed I can.
What?
And then I'm going to try to not get mashed by you guys.
We'll watch a YouTube video. When you're driving on the streets, are you an aggressive driver or?
Overly.
Okay, so
Unfortunately.
all the other drivers are like, no, that's scary.
Very tame.
Yeah.
I'm scared to drive with you guys on the track. I feel comfortable. You're like, no. You guys suck.
I desperately wish that Ford would come out with a new Raptor with like a plow on the front of it, like on a train or like a snow plow.
Sure.
And when the old people are in the left-hand lane sitting there reading their phones or whatever they're doing,
yeah, they should not be doing that. Yeah, take them out.
Yeah,
and flip them over.
Hey, they got flying cars coming soon. I can't wait to see what you do with those. Can't wait to see what you do with those.
I'll figure something out.
Did you go down to that regatta down there? Where was that? Here in Indiana, where that where that boat did that backflip. You know the regatta that happens here in
Madison.
Madison, yeah. Did you see? Are you ever going to race those boats? To AJ's question, no. Don't fuck with water.
Doesn't have enough wheels on it.
Yeah. Yep. Smart.
How about 2 wheels?
Not enough wheels.
Perfect.
All the time. 4.
They got it figured out whenever they did that. Everything else is fuckery. We appreciate the hell out of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Stewart. All right, that has been my anniversary. August 1st, 2023. Can't wait to get outside and race against Smoke. We appreciate you taking time. Big shout out to Michael Lombardi for joining us. Brandon Bean for joining us. AJ obviously had a great day. And Pac-Man Jones back in studio.
Let's go.
It's been a glorious day. It's going to be an incredible evening. Thank you to the boys who did great. We'll see you tomorrow. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice might change your life. Goodbye.